Okay, good morning, guys. How are we? I hope everyone is well. I hope you had a good day yesterday. It was quite a tough day yesterday, wasn't it? A lot of trades around. I just had the one. So I did want to discuss with a few of you about someone else's chart yesterday I saw, because there was a couple of entries on my chart that I looked at but left alone. So I wanted to discuss that with a couple of you shortly. So we got some news today coming up in around about 35 minutes. I think there's a few rumours about things looking a little better, a little rosier. So hopefully, because I've got a little bit in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, I've just done a long position on Bitcoin. So hopefully we can get a little push today. So who we got in this morning? Afternoon, Nicholas. How are you? Sam, morning, Sam. Keith, how you doing, Keith? Jim, morning, Jim. So I hope everyone's well. What? How you doing? What? So so we got this news. So it's probably not going to do anything if anything does arise. I have been looking at this. Looks like a bit of a spike in a channel. It's certainly touching along the bottom here, but obviously we've come up here again. So we seem to be ranging currently. So obviously this news is probably going to keep a lot of traders sitting and watching at the moment. So well, funny, DZT, that's what I was going to talk to you about. There was a couple of, if I can just quickly flip back, nothing's happening at the moment. Let me just flip back to yesterday. I think it was here, actually. Yeah, it was. I had this drawn somewhere around about like that. In fact, I think it was more like that initially, wasn't it? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was more like that initially. There was a couple of entries that I looked at, and I actually mentioned them a few times. That was one of them, and that was another one. Now, I left these purely and simply because there's our new low there. It's not really a second entry, although there is like a short-term trend channel, very short-term, and a bit of a break with the new low. Now, that to me, in an uptrend, looks like a perfect position to take. Push strongly down, push nicely up, one tick off its high, EMA's facing upwards. It's not really a second entry, and it's not a failure or anything, but Marco took that, and I had a quick chat with him. Now, that is something that I like the look of. Also, this one here. Now, you could, obviously that, I think that high is about the same as those two, but it does dip a bit. You could have, yeah, you could call that a second entry long, although it's about the same height or a higher low. Those are two trades I really like the look of. I mentioned them yesterday, but because they weren't by the book, I left them alone. And Marco took them, and obviously I've spoken to him about trades before, and sometimes I think when you get a little bit more experience, you can spot areas where, we're moving up, it's come right back, it's sitting beautifully at the key entry point, and it's sitting exactly where I love taking those trades, where the lower part of the body is just hugging the top of that line, and that is as almost as good as well. So I think when you've been doing it a while, you can spot these trades, and just because they're not necessarily by the count, I mean, you can't call it a second entry really. That's a new low really, isn't it? So, but it is a trade that just looks like it's going to work, doesn't it? And obviously that one as well, you can call that high low, and I think it's probably about the same height, I'd say there. So yeah, excuse me a second. Yeah, it's the same height. So, you can recount that, or you can sort of reset it. But if you don't count that and you count this, so you can take that as a second entry long. So that's okay. But it was more this one. But that looks like the perfect trade to me in an uptrend back to the EMA. So trades like that, I did leave it alone, but I did mention it a couple of times. Those two places where I would have taken them. And Marco does take the odd one like that, and I think rightly so. I think when you've been doing it a while, you can spot these places where they're just going to rebound. A lot of these trends, they have these nice uptrends. Every time they come back to their main, sit there like that. That's the perfect sort of bouncing point. So I am going to take the odd trade like that if I see something that isn't necessarily by the count. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that yesterday because I looked at Marco's chart and I noticed he took those, and I said, I just had a chat with him. I said, I avoided those on the stream yesterday because, and rightly so, some traders would say, why did you take that one? Because it's a first entry. Why would you take that? Which is why I sort of left it. But I think sometimes you've got to let your little bit of experience sort of take over and realise that is a good place for a bounce, especially for an uptrend or vice versa. So yeah, I just wanted to mention it, that's all. So who else we got in? Let's have a wee look. Yeah, visual second entry. I mean, it just looks like the place where it's going to take off, doesn't it? When you do spend lots of hours looking at these channels, you do tend to know the areas where they're going to bounce. So no, there is no reason to take it. There's plenty of other trades, but to me, and probably you as well, when you've been looking at those a while, you tend to think that's going to take off from there, and they usually do. So, I suppose in an uptrend, if you take that trade, then maybe you go for 2-to-1 or something like that to sort of balance out your risk a bit. But I mentioned those particular bars yesterday because they just look like perfect places for me to, for the market to take off. But it is what it is. I suppose you got to make your own judgment call, haven't you? So some market is open now, so there's probably not going to be a lot of trade. I'm guessing it's going to be a bit slow at the moment because of this news we've got coming up soon. So who else we got? NG Money, how you doing? Just passed my third Apex account test. We'll be getting an email tonight. I love those. They come early hours of the morning for me because I'm in the UK. So I always, because I wake up a couple of times, I always check my phone, and usually around about 4:30 in the morning, I get my emails, and yeah, it's a nice feeling, isn't it? It's a nice feeling. Then you pay your money, and literally you're up and trading, and it's a nice feeling. So I shall get mine early hours of the morning. So good on you, G Money. Nice to hear. I like hearing about people doing well and people getting some success. It's a nice feeling because I know what it's like leading up to it now and how tough they are to get sometimes. So good for you, mate. Good for you. Staying small, $400 a day average. That's what you're aiming for. See, I was watching a trader a couple of days ago, and he traded 3 contracts right from the off. I usually trade 2. I did mention about just starting with 1, but I think I might just stick with 2. Now, the thing I like about 2 contracts is you get 4 or 5, average days, and you start to get a bit of a distance between that 50,100. So I'm going to stick to my 2. I'm just going to be extra. The amount of contracts isn't my problem. My problem is not keeping that patience, I think. So I'm going to keep my trading times down to a sort of a maximum of 2.5 hours and take it from there. But I know I can trade. I just need to, when I take a loss, just remember that it happens. And, it's always the battle, isn't it, taking the losses. So let me have a wee looky, see who else we got in. So good for you, G Money. I'm pleased for you. It's nice to hear about people doing well. Soon you need to change your name to Top G Money. Chief a Grand. That's what it is. So good for you, mate. Good for you. Keep in touch. Let us know how you're getting on. Let's have a look. Leader loser, morning traders. Lads, don't worry about the trades you missed. Yeah, it's a case. Well, yeah, I think a lot of people say I've got no problem with leaving a trade, and that's the way it should be because there's always another trade, and But I just wanted to mention it. Just to, obviously you'd seen it as well, so you probably had the same thoughts as me because we did discuss it briefly yesterday, didn't we? They do look like, but it's one of those things. And if you take it and it doesn't work, why didn't it work? The answer is because it wasn't a second entry, or it wasn't a failure, or it wasn't a proper setup. But I suppose, that's something you've got to judge for yourself at the time, haven't you? Maybe if you've got your balance up to, say, $10,000 and you've got a nice cushion and you like the look of it, then maybe, but I think if you're starting off a PA account, I'd say you're probably best to avoid trades like that. But obviously Marco's experience, he knows what he's looking at, and he's probably seen them trades 1,000 times. So, I just thought I'd mention it. Focus on 1 to 2 setups and you make a ton of money. Yeah, I agree with that. I like second entries and failures, and obviously break. I like what that Vlad mentioned, and I think ideally, if I can do 2 winning trades in succession, I think that is a good time to go and enjoy your day. If you can get 2 trades done in an hour, I think that's the time to go. Okay, now I'm going to go off and relax for the day and have a nice relaxing day, because there's nothing like going home from a trading day when you're up in the green. But I think the good thing is with me, if I start off with a good trade, I get extra cautious, which is a good thing. And I can't remember a time where I won a first trade and ended up losing one after. And it just goes to show, doesn't it, when you get some money, you get into that protection mode, because it doesn't matter what, if I get one trade and pick up 4 points and I'm $400 up, it doesn't matter what happens for the rest of the day, you're $400 up. So if you go home, you're going home on a good amount, and $400 a day is a good amount on 2 contracts. You do that 5 days a week, that's $2,000 a week just on 2 contracts. So it goes to show you don't need to try and, hit $1,000 days and stuff. You'll get the odd one of those if, when you get a little bit of luck on your side with a runner. But, it's a process, isn't it, that we all go through. So who else we got here? Yeah, absolutely. 1 to 2 setups. And if you can stick to them religiously, you'll rarely lose, will you? You'll certainly hit well into those 95%. Toad, morning Toad, how you doing, my friend? B, good morning, guys. Groll Daddy, morning. Degens? Yeah. Okay, I'm missing something there. Is that an American thing, is it? Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps I'm doing something stupid or something, aren't I? $400 with a replicant on 10. I thought that, yeah, that's nice, isn't it? I got to say, that's what I like about it. Yeah, it's doing what I thought at the moment. It's going a bit sideways and slowly, isn't it? Because this news, so at least we can have a chat. It's what I like about those copy traders. Is now, if you wanted to trade a little bit more contracts on 1 or 2 of your accounts, you could set those accounts to follow, couldn't you? And the accounts that you're trading the lowest contracts on, you could use that as your lead account. So all you're really seeing is that one account. The trouble is, if I'm used to seeing those figures going down to 300 on 400 on a loss and going up to 400 on a win. But if I went up to 4 contracts, that amount would double, and that has a psychological effect on you. So the good thing about having the trade copier is because the larger accounts you trade, you can use those as you sort of, so what I'm looking for, you can use those as your slave or copied accounts. So you don't physically see that amount. All you really see is the amounts on the lead account. So if you keep the lead account down to a minimum, contract size, two maybe, then you won't see those larger figures going up and down, which can get a little bit scary. So yeah, if you can make a measly $400 on 10 accounts, that's $4,000. I mean, that is serious money. I bet you don't know many people who earn $4,000 a day. I certainly don't. I don't think I've ever known anybody who earns that sort of money. So it just goes to show, if you can muster that patience and just sit and wait, and just wait for those beautiful trades to come by, and then take them, take 1 or 2 a day, you'll make a ton of money. You really will. But I got to say, sometimes, and I've heard it before, trading can be boring. And there lies the problem when you're bored. Sometimes you tend to, and nothing's happened for a while. It's very easy to get sucked into a mediocre trade, isn't it? And that's the problem. That's where you come unstuck, and we've all done it. I'm certainly no beginner or no novice when it comes to picking, having the patience get the better of me. So, but it goes to show, doesn't it? If you can control that patience and take those beautiful trades, you're set for life, aren't you? You really are. Because the beauty about taking those trades is not only will they make you money, you'll lose a lot less. And obviously, whenever we lose something, we all feel it a little bit, don't we? But from what I can gather, that feeling, that little bit of awkward, uncomfortable feeling gets less and less the more experience you get. I mean, if you've been trading for 2 years and making good money every month, a loss doesn't make a difference because you've been trading, haven't you? You've been trading for 2 years and you've been making money. So, with skill and earning money comes sort of confidence and belief, self-belief, and a lot of the negative stuff will then slowly start to drift away. Yeah, I did draw that just for the fun of it. It looks like a spiking channel. It sort of touches here, touches here, touches here. It fits there nice. There was a second entry off it there. I didn't take it because we're sort of close to these highs. I did see that. So although this looks like a bit of a range or a bit of a messy one, a channel or a bit of a messy one, I am aware that it broke above there and came down strongly. So I just left that anyway, but probably not a bad place to take a trade. There is, if you ride it to the top here, there's a few points, three points or whatever in there. So it's probably going to be much of this, I think, for the next 20 minutes. So I have heard rumours that that hopefully interest rates are starting to calm, which should install a little bit more confidence in the markets, I think. And I know if you look at the daily over the last sort of week and a half, things have started to look a bit positive. And although you may not trade or you may not invest, if markets get comfortable, interest rates start to fall, everyone will feel it on the pocket. It'll get easier because prices are just horrific at the moment. I feel sorry for the the lower earners and the single parents because things are tough and things are expensive at the moment. So I'll be trading here for the next 2 days. No trading for me Friday. I'll be back in on Monday. So trading tomorrow, trading the day after, and then Friday off. And then it'll be back in on Monday morning then. Last day of January today. It doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since Christmas. Gone so quick. At least I've noticed the nights here in the UK are starting to get that little bit brighter. So we're aiming in the right direction to get the warmer weather and the lighter nights. Nothing worse than getting up in the dark, coming home from work in the dark, cold days. Just got 10 points total on 3 contracts on that failed breakout. So you're on about this, are you? Something here? Did you go here? Did you, Jason? I'm assuming, or did you go this one? When you say failed breakout. Oh, you're on about here. On about here? Probably, aren't you? 10 points. Oh no. Can't have been here, can it? Can't have been there. You wouldn't have got 10 points there, would you? What might you have done? What about this one? I don't quite know what you're on about, actually. Fell breakout. There's this one, this one. This one hasn't materialised yet. What are you on about down here? I did my micro this morning. I just drop it straight in the market and pick high or low. I don't really even need to pick it anymore. It doesn't matter either way, really. I think I went long on something, was it? I don't know where it was. What is going on with Ninja Trader today? Why is that not showing? Strange, isn't it? Everything else working okay. I forget where I did my micro. That should. I don't know why that's not showing my executions. For some reason. Tell you what. Plot executions. Is that working? That's working. Okay, I don't really think much is happening at the moment. I'm just gonna reload my chart. Just see why that isn't working. So I'm just gonna reboot this quickly. Bear with me 1 second. And I'll reload my historical data as well. So hopefully that'll sort that plot executions out for some reason. Let's check. Let's just connect to this. Okay, we're all good, aren't we? Right, let's see if that works now. Why isn't that working? Oh, okay. I did it on the MES chart, that's why. I knew something wasn't right. Let's have a look. Okay, reload. Historical data. The last low to high of that range. Last low to high. Got to have been down here, isn't it, I think? Okay, so that's loaded all historical data. Let me just check it's on. Oh, why is that not working now? Come on, have a day off. Why is chart trader not coming up? All right, hold on a minute. Trade copy, let's check that's working. Okay, yes, sim 101. That quantity. Why is that not coming up? Chart trader. God's sake. Something is not doing something. Indicators coming up. Okay, indicators are good. There we go. Okay, just checking. We're on a sim. Might have just taken a bit of time to load it also. Okay, so sim 101 contract. That's fine. Let's hide that. Trade copy is good, isn't it? Okay, yes, sim 101. Exact quantity, just trading that. So all I'm doing is just trading the sim till tomorrow, and that sim as the trade copy, just to keep using that trade copier. Okay. What time is it? Okay, this news is in 10 minutes, so I always take ledges for 4 ticks. You still trade 4 ticks, do you? Do you take them all the time, or do you just go with those just to get a quick 4 ticks? Because I know sometimes although I used to take 2 points on the odd occasion, where sometimes we have the market comes up and it hits the same point 10 times, something like that. I used to put like a little buy order just above it with just 1 point profit. Sometimes when it breaks out, it spikes up quickly, and I used to be quite successful with that, but I stopped doing it for some reason. Terrible day yesterday. Yeah, I had the one trade yesterday. There was a couple of other trades other people took, but yeah, it wasn't a fantastic day, was it? It was a bit of a boring day yesterday, but that's trading. Sometimes it is boring, isn't it? And that's where the patience comes into it. That's where I tend to struggle a little bit. I can't scalp for 4 ticks. No, I can't do anymore. And what I will say, patience exactly, yeah. What I will say is if you are still scalping for 4 ticks or a point or whatever you want to call it, just go back over your trades. Say that was a trade there. I didn't take it because I just didn't take it anyway because I thought, leading up to the market open, I was just browsing, to be fair. There was a second entry there. I was aware it come up here and then we had this push up and then a rejection, so I left it. But just go back over your trades and just work out what they would have done. I mean, that went up for like 10. Well, you'd have certainly got 9.5, 9.75 points off that. And it seems heartbreaking, really, to take where's a point? Let's have a look. So there you go. There's your point. You know what I mean? It seems heartbreaking, doesn't it, but just go back. Even if you don't do it, I didn't do it on my own trades. I used to follow Daniel, and I used to look at Daniel's charts when he used to, going back a year or so, when he used to post his charts every day. I went back on his charts, his daily charts for the last 2 weeks, and every single one of his trade, even the ones he'd marked in green, the higher risk ones, every single one of them made a minimum of 2 points, and then that was about 30 odd trades, so it was a no-brainer for me to go up to 2 points. And then as the more trades you take with 2 points, and you just make a note of how much further they went, you start to get a bit more confidence, and then you'll up it a little bit. But there's so much more on the table than a point nowadays. I think when Mac started this business and started sort of teaching, it was a bit different. ATR was lower because he said, you tick above it, tick below it, and your risk is maximum of 2 points. Well, if you put a tick below and above there, your risk is going to be closer to 4 points. So your risk's a lot bigger nowadays, or it can be. And there's just so much more movement on the table. So it really is. It's heartbreaking to take a point now. I put my take profit to 4 if I'm becoming impatient. Yeah, it is a personal preference. I did speak to Daniel about it maybe 8 or 9 months ago, and he said sometimes he finds it stressful enough to wait for a point without going through the motions of waiting for 2 points. But it doesn't really bother me so much now. You get used to it. But he used to post some of his charts, and Mac used to post some of his trades. And he trades between 20 and 40 contracts and stuff. And to see him take a trade with 40 contracts for a point and make about $2,000, and then you see it continuing to go up. But I don't know whether he's changed now or not, or whether he's upped it a little bit. But yeah, I know sometimes he'd trade 40 contracts. It was his account. You could see his name in the account. So he was generally trading that many contracts. So you've got to be pretty confident you know what you're doing, and you've got to be relatively successful to have that form of funds to be able to trade 40 contracts. Okay, this news is coming in about 7 minutes, which is probably why it's doing a little bit of this. But hopefully it's positive news. And that should be good for us all. Who was that? The guy I'm talking about, is that what you mean? Daniel. He was one of the moderators on the Facebook group. And he used to post a lot of his, well, Mac used to post a lot of his trades. If you go back to some of Mac's videos and have a browse through them, you'll see some of Daniel's trades. But yeah, some he'd trade 20 contracts, some he'd trade 40 contracts. I suppose it depends on the trade or what he was doing, or, you know, but he does well for himself. I think I was in a conversation with him about a year or so ago, and there was another guy on the chat, and I think he said he'd made about $450,000 in the previous year. So he's you know, if you're in that sort of money, you're doing well. And the beauty is, if you are in that sort of money, you can certainly earn a lot more, because it's just a matter of scaling up. Yusuf, did you survive all that time in the market with too many failures? I'm just one tick away from surrendering. I failed to pass 25 evaluations. Mate, let me tell you something. 25 evaluations is nothing. Let me show you. Most of you guys have seen this, but I'm going to show. Yusuf, okay, that's what you call failure. So straight away, there's 81. This one is about to be passed. So there's 80 failed Apex accounts there. 80. You profit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 you profit. So there's 92. 3 earned to trade, 93, 94, 95. And 9 failed. So there's 95 failed evaluations and 9 failed peer accounts. And that does include 2 of my own accounts, which I lost money. So if you failed 25 evaluations and you're feeling bad about yourself, don't. Because it's tough. Everybody fails evaluations, and it's part of it. You've got to go through the process. Some you're going to fail easy, some you're going to do really well and fail, others you're just going to throw money away because your emotions get the better of you than they really do. I've had trades where I've done evaluations, and in one day they happen to have an 80% off, and I've done 6 and failed them in one day because I got that angry and frustrated that I was just taking one and I'd fail it and I'd take another one. I was just hitting 10 contracts and buy and sell, and I was just, it's almost like you're going through a personal battle with the markets, but most people do it. In fact, if someone says they've never blown an account, they're either incredibly gifted or they're lying. I'd say they're probably a liar, because everybody does. It's all part and parcel of it. It's slowly training that mind to be able to think like a trader, because it's what traders do and how traders react isn't the way human beings normally react. We've had this sort of fight or flight, or, you know, and these emotions built into us from an early age, and that's how we react. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there. Yeah. It's a personal battle. It's nothing more than that. It's a personal battle. And it's a personal battle that a lot of people fail. And I'll tell you what, I think they say 95% of traders will never make consistent money. And I think a lot of that's to do with they give up. Because once you've traded for a while and you've had lots and lots of failures, it does play havoc with your mind. It really does. And it can really feel like it breaks you sometimes. And it's how long you keep at it before you give up. You either keep going and get to that place where things starting to improve and you're starting to get somewhere, or you give up long before there, but it is a personal battle. And I would say my feelings are, if you stick at it and keep trying to improve, I think most will eventually get there. It obviously depends on you, and it depends on how much time you invest in it. But it's not easy. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it and making a fortune. You can make a fortune doing this if you can get to the place where you're good at it. You know, you can control those emotions or manage those emotions, because they'll always be there to a degree. But if you can manage them and muster that patience and learn to be patient, but it's like this. It's up, it's down and up and down. It's like a roller coaster. You know, you'll have good days, and you'll have days where you're just down in the shit. And you know, you're in your room with your hands in your head thinking, what am I doing? And then you'll have other days where you feel like you know what's going on and you're successful. And then all of a sudden you'll hit a wall and you'll drop you go through all these different emotions. But it's a journey, but it's a journey. You'll slowly, you know, it's like a slow up trend. You'll slowly get better at it. It's a process everybody has to go through. I've read, you know, I can't tell you how many books I've read about emotions. They don't help me, but they make me understand why these things happen, and it is a process. You've got to go through it. It's like learning anything. It's, you know, you want to be a bricklayer. You can't just pick up a trowel and away you go. It takes time. Your walls are going to fall down. They're going to be crap, and then you're going to build something nice, and then you're going to struggle. It's like anything we learn. It takes time. The unfortunate thing is with this is, you know, unlike a lot of other jobs, when you're learning, you still get paid at the end of the week. Whereas this, you're going to lose money. There's no other way about it. You have to have risk to be able to manage and learn to deal with the emotions. You have to have risk. We've had this news, or this news has come out now. I don't see whether it's done anything. I certainly not going to do anything for a while, because. But you have to have risk to it. You've got to expose yourself to that risk to be able to learn to manage it, and it takes time. And unfortunately, with risk comes loss, and you are going to lose money. All I would say is try and keep it to a minimum. If you're going to take evaluation, I'd certainly learn on evaluations, and I'd wait till I get 80%, then take one or two, and just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. You can limit the amount of money it costs you by, you know, taking the offers. Yeah, it is. You keep banging your head against the wall. Sooner or later, you'll realise it hurts, and you bleed. But for some reason, because it's so emotional, it takes time to get it drummed into your head. That's the unfortunate thing. But it does help if you understand. I certainly would read some of the books and you know, all the different information there, because it helps you understand. So what it's basically saying is there is light at the end of the tunnel if you're willing to just keep trying. But it's about training that brain to do something which isn't natural. Because when we lose something, we naturally want it back. What do you do when you lose something? You ever lost your wallet? You panic, don't you? You're on the phone to everyone. What's happened? You're running around like a blue-ass fly, aren't you? Because that's how we react to loss. You know, the emotions just jump straight in. You know what? I've mentioned this before. When I was about 14, my stepdad came home and he said, "I enrolled you in boxing classes." And I remember going with a friend. I got my mum to buy me one of those string vests, the white string vests, because they were big in the 80s. Not so much now, but they were then. And I remember me and my mate went through our mum's sort of medical cabinet and picking out some bandages, and we bandaged all our hands up, so we looked like real boxers, and off we jogged. And I remember going to this boxing gym for, I don't know, a few months, and we did all sorts of bag work and pad work and jumping around on skipping ropes and what have you. And I remember one point, and I remember it clearly, he said to me, "Right, you and you in the ring." And I remember putting these massive big black gloves on, which were as big as my head. And I remember going in there, and the coach said to me, "Right, keep your arms up in your chin, keep your elbows in." And I remember doing that, and I got hit, and all the rules and everything I'd learnt went straight out the window. We were just swinging at each other like crazy because it's the emotions. It's fight or flight. You don't react the same. All the rules go out the window and you panic and you start flinging punches around. And before you know it, we were split up and you don't know what the hell was going on. But it takes time to do that again and again and again. You watch boxers as they're learning, they get better and better at managing emotions. Because you get into a punch up, and we've all had it in our life, at some point, that the hair stands on end. You don't feel the punches, do you, because of the emotions, but, you sort of turn psycho for a bit, don't you? But that's similar to trading. It's emotions. Emotions are the same, really. They might be more powerful in certain situations, but it's exactly the same thing. If you don't experience emotions day to day, you're never going to experience them enough to be able to manage them. What's happening with this news then? Anybody, any ideas? Was there nothing? Because there's been nothing, is there? Or are they talking about it now? Any ideas? I lost 150,000 of my own money learning to trade stocks on margin before I made a penny. Well, I am glad you've made some money, because that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Mind you, if you had that sort of money to lose, I'd say you're pretty successful in life anyway. So that's good. But yeah, I don't know how much I've lost, to be honest with you, how much I've spent in it. I probably wouldn't want to say, just in case my wife watches this stream. Not that she does. But I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It's nowhere near as much as that. I'd say probably a tenth of that, maybe, something like that. I don't know. But the point is, I don't go out, I'm 53 now. I don't go out drinking. I've got a couple of mates who go out a couple of times a week and they drink and they smoke. And, I've got one mate who's a mad fisherman and he's buying all sorts of gear. So I don't do that really. So, my spare money and, my additional spare cash goes into trading. I'm getting some value out of it in a sense, hopefully. So that's where my sort of spare capital goes, really. I don't do a lot of anything else at the moment. It's sort of my interest and my hobby and my future career move. So it's an investment, isn't it? It's an investment in your future. No one ever did well in life in business without losing money. Still, anybody know any issue? What's going on with this news? Is it over and done with, or what? Or is the meeting going on, or is it being spoken about? Is anybody talking? Let me just see if I can find something. Take center stage this week. Consumer confidence news. I will end up making millions. All right, so 150,000 isn't a lot to lose in that case, isn't it? Good for you. Back in 20. You're my new best mate. You're my new BFF. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Like the Shawshank Redemption. Classic film, that, isn't it? What's going on here then? It's been a bit sketchy, isn't it? But we've had this quick drop. Did you go long there? Possibly. I just don't like the way it's just dropped quickly. I've not heard too much about the news or seen anything really happening, but I don't think it was a bad place to go long, was it? Certainly bouncing off this bottom and that broke below. Trying not to pick tops and bottoms, see, which is why you certainly got 2.5 points. I'm assuming the news what was expected. G-Money strategy. I did look at that. The only bit that made me nervous was this quick push down. So we're obviously expecting the news, aren't we? I'm assuming it's happened, whether anything's happened or not. But I did look at it. I actually looked at that, but I'm trying not to pick tops at the moment. It's getting I think you profit does. I did some with you profit a while back. Well, quite a while back now. Interesting to see where we get above here. Excuse me. Okay, let's see what's going on here. We have had quite a strong push down there and bounced straight off. Another push down, bounced straight off. So it is still going between these two levels, but we've had a little bit of a breakout there, so I'm really aware we could get the same here. And we're in this channel at the moment, aren't we? So let's be extra careful. Oh. Let's just get an order ready. In case something comes up. Okay, so there's our lead account. I wish you could swap the... Anybody know how I can swap these around so I can put my lead account on the top? Into that. I prefer my lead account on the top. Okay, so there's our break. Now, new high. See how this finishes. Clicking on the column name here. Oh. I'll have a look after. I'll have a look at it. Probably a way, isn't there? Oh, it's worked. Oh, there you go. Sim 101's my... let's try a copy here. Sim 101. Oh, it's worked. Don't ask me how I did it. But it's done. Okay. Did I do it? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's get rid of it for now. Yeah, it stayed the same, so that's good. Just nice to know if one's accepted, it's my lead account. If that one isn't, I can just delete that one so it doesn't end up turning into yeah, I can each individual one there. We'll just click the one and it shuts them both down, so that's good. Excellent. Did I just right click on? I don't know what I did. I did something, but it worked. That's the frustrating thing, is that you mess around doing stuff half the time, you figure it out, but you can't remember how you did it. I certainly noticed a difference in my psychology. 12 months ago, when I was in a trade, my neck used to feel like I had a vice around it. Every time it went down, you could feel that stress. Every time it went up, you could feel yourself relaxing. I don't feel nowhere near that now. So it just goes to show with time it does wear off to a degree. I think you'll always have it. I mean, even if you're a great trader and you lose a chunk of money, no one likes losing money. But you just learn to manage it so it doesn't have any issues with you, and that just comes in time, I dare say. I haven't got it fully yet. I still don't like losing a trade, but it doesn't affect me the way it used to. I always used to grind my teeth as well. While I was trading, I used to finish trading. In the evening, my jaw used to ache from grinding my teeth. Just one left mouse click. Is that all it was? Ah, excellent. Thank you for that. Mahala, is that your name? Mahala. Yeah, nice name. Excellent. It does make it. It's just nice, isn't it? At least if I keep your lead account at the top, at least then if the next one doesn't, because I believe your lead account should generally trigger, but if it doesn't, at least I can just get rid of the one that isn't. Okay, so we've had a break out of this down to here. Let's see what happens now. We're going to push up, or we're going to pull back into it. A lot of times when it does that and it goes sideways, it comes back to the EMA and rockets off again. So let's, that's a new high. It's a high. There's a second entry long there. Love where that's sitting, but I'll take that on a demo, but not a live account. The trouble is, if you take them on demos and they work, it installs poor information in your brain, really, doesn't it? That's the same as that. So that is a second entry long, but it's not the ideal place to take, really, although that does look like EMA's facing up. It does look nice and bullish, that. And I think if it can get above here, it's probably going to move up. How far, I don't know, but let's see if it breaks above here. But the trouble is, we've been in a range at the moment, and we've had a break out of it. Most breakouts fail, but it just does. Okay, yeah. It just does look like that type of trade. We should push higher. It'll usually go sideways, and then it comes back to the EMA, and it is a second entry long, and it's a beautiful bar, beautifully sat. I love them when they sit like that, I do. So whether we're going to come back in or not, but I did expect a little bit of a push. There's probably going to be maybe some shorts there. Maybe here. I don't know. It's hard to say that put their stops above here, but I would say we're probably going to come back in, aren't we? It's hard to say at the moment, but what would you have got out there for a quick point or two? Well, yeah, you'd have got, if you'd have had your, if you'd have took that and you'd have got 3 points comfortably on there. See, sometimes in the past I've done that. You see it hitting the same point, and I've put a little order above here and just took a point, and it's worked a lot of the time. But I did like that bar, and it was a second entry long bit in a range at the top of a range. It's not the ideal place to go long, really, is it? But which is why I didn't trade it. But I do love the bar. I love where it's sitting. EMA's facing upwards, so who knows? Yeah, I used to have in my strategies. I used to have it called a 1 point scalp or something or other. And when I see it bouncing in the same place, a lot of the times when it does break above there, it does it dramatically quickly, and a lot of times it comes back in. So I used to put an order above there just now and again when I see it hit a lot of places, and I think it may go higher, just for a point. And if you'd have done that, it would have hit your point quickly. can't see where there'd be many shorts in there. Maybe there, maybe some here, maybe, I don't know, maybe some here with their stops above here. May get a second leg up. Well, that's sort of why I looked at that. I thought maybe we might get a, a lot of the times when you get these sharp legs, they'll go sideways a bit to the EMA and then go up again. See, that looks like another nice bar. That one, and then that one. If it's going to go up, I'd say it's probably going to go from, be interesting to see. If I was a bet man, I'd say that's going to push up. Just by the bar, it just looks bullish. It looks where, where people would be interested in taking a trade. But we have been in a range and we've had a breakout, and a lot of breakouts fail. So I think if that does break below here, because of those two, I think it might do it quite sharpish. It does look a lovely place to take a trade, but at here I just couldn't bring myself to take one, to be fair. So if that breaks below here, I'd say there's going to be a quick little spike down. They may have put stops below there, so I don't know. It's not quite as dramatic as I was expecting. Yeah, they have actually. It's not often nowadays in a range we get tops closing sort of like that, and especially the bottoms as well. If you include that one, look at that one. Bullish bar off the bottom, bullish bar off the bottom, bullish bar off the bottom. That one, bullish bar, yeah, every time. And it's not often nowadays. It actually comes back to that place, and it's literally done it within a few ticks, each one of them, which is usually tops, a lot of them are like, there's a top there, there's a top there, there's a top there, that, they're all over the place lately, aren't they? So you got to say that was then a failed breakout, so we've come back in. Whether we will push up from here, it might be two legs down and off again. It's hard to say, isn't it? But it makes a change to have, especially the bottoms fitting so nice. That kind of fits nice there, doesn't it? Touch, body. Somewhere out there, but it's funny how we've had this little bit of a breakout of here as well. And it sits just there. Okay, there's a failure there. Possible second entry long there, but I'd say they've made their points. But there is a possible failure there, but it does. I am getting the impression that just the way it's looking, that we're going to come up. Especially after this short one that's gone right from the bottom to the top and then sideways. It is looking like it's starting to get bullish. We've had this failed breakout, really, haven't we? And it's not really come back very far. It's only just broke below there. So we had this discussion the other day, didn't we, about this sideways? And someone said if it's only about as high as a bar, you can't class it really as a range. Although that's a second entry long, and it's broken out this range, isn't it? And look what's happened. Strongly gone up. And that was a small risk there. It's probably, what, bar and a quarter there? What is that? 4. It's a bar and a half there. Tick above, tick below. 2-point risk. Christ. And that was the average risk when Max started this trading thing. Look at the difference in bars now. That was the average risk. Yeah, that's what I was expecting it to do. We may have a second leg. How high it will go, I don't know. But unfortunately, if you'd have taken either one of those, you might have got a couple of points. But if you'd have taken that one, you'd have got stopped out. As nice as it looks for going high, yeah, it's still, yeah. I mean, it looked nice to go long that. You'd have got a cut and that. But the reason I didn't take either one of them is because it is sideways, and the sensible thing to do there really is not to do anything, because if you do, that's what happens. The only one I think that wasn't that bad of a trade was that one. It was a small risk, and it was a second entry long, and it's going sideways, and I had the impression, it was giving the impression to me that it was going to go up, so that might have not been a bad risk to take. And if you had taken that, anybody take that? It was a small risk. In fact, it looks smaller than 2 bars, that does. That's a 1.5. No, it's a bloody small 1.5. So tick above, tick below. It's maximum 2 risk. I don't think that was a bad trade to take. Was a second entry. And it had dropped below here, so that would have been nice. So it does look like we may be getting this another leg up here. So let's call that a spiking channel. So may end up going something like that. It's hard to say at the moment, but you did. Yeah, I don't think that was a bad trade, actually, to be honest with you. Some of these trades that look good, and we've gone a bit of sideways, and a lot of the time there, see that, I think was a bit of a trap as well, wasn't it? We did trap the longs there, going short. And it was a really nice one leg down, two. It was 2 legs down, 2 nice small legs down, below here, nice and bullish, very minimal risk, and then rocketed straight up. So even if you'd have took that to the top, you'd have got the best part of 5 points there. Yeah, you'd have got 5 points out of that. Your charts are different. You got 21 ticks. Good for you, Luca. Well done, mate. Yeah, they are often different. Somebody mentioned this the other day, and I reloaded my historic data and it sorted out, but I did reload it about 20, 30 minutes ago, so I don't quite know. Sometimes, mate, I've had this question loads of times, and I emailed Mac before, and I've spoke to other traders, and they say, don't worry about it, just trade your chart as is. Sometimes you'll get a better signal bar than me and you'll take a trade and it'll win. Other times I'll get a, not as good a signal bar as you, and it won't suit a trade for me. So push up sideways, push up. So let's just figure out where this is going to go. Put that about there. So that may be an area. So if we can get a couple of pushes, see, it's hard to say at the moment. We've had a push up sideways, push up. We may have a couple of legs down and go a bit higher. It is giving me that impression. But we've had these couple of pushes down, and then we've strongly pushed up and gone sideways. So it does, sentiment feels better in the markets. I haven't really seen anything that's affected any of the bars about the news, so I'm assuming the news was as expected. Which, 3 o'clock's here. Apart from a slightly bigger bullish bar there's nothing that would indicate there's any type of news. In fact, no, there's one there, so I don't think the news has done anything. Okay, there's one push down. That's two. It's too risky to take that one. I'd expect another push down if it does come down. $21 ticks, that's all right, that. 5 points, isn't it? 5 points in a tick. Yeah, good for you, mate. Good for you, lad. You took on a sim and got 25 ticks. At the end of the day, I think it's an all right trade, actually. We had this. It is giving us that impression. It's holding on here, isn't it? You expect it to break out, and that is clearly one leg down, clearly 2 legs down, and it's a second entry. It's a small risk right under there, and then you expect it at least to push back in, and that's gone lovely, those. So, I mean, it's 1 tick off its high, tick above, tick below, maximum 2 points. And it's not often you can say you can get a maximum. I mean, if you look through this market today, you'd be hard pushed to find one as small as that. maybe that one, but there isn't many of them. Yeah, that's a 1.5. You're not going to find many more, are you? So if you can get a risk at 2 points maximum, a lot of the times, you know, I've had 2 points, 4 points risk, so that was worth taking. That was, and a lot of other traders felt the same way. Look at that, 4 points in one candle straight away. See, that was worth it. Hopefully, if we can get back here. Depends how bullish it is. It may not even get back here. I'm assuming this is going up. So is my crypto. I'm leaving that out just at the minute until we properly confirm this. Whether it is or not, I don't know. Trying to avoid these sharp pushes side was another one. Trying to avoid drawing these larger trends too early. I know Brandt took a trade on something like that. It came back, and to be fair, it looked good, and it went south. So I'm trying to avoid drawing these bigger trend channels a little bit too early. But we have had a push up sideways, another push up sideways, so it's but same again, if we can drop below here and get something really bullish, you know, with the head of it here and a stem, one leg down, 2 legs down, then that would, if this drops below here and finishes bullish above here, then I would go long there, even just to run it to the top 3.5, 4 points. So it may push down and retest this top here. We'll get close to it. Hopefully it'll push down a little bit more than that and finish bullish, and then I'd take that. Okay, I'm going to get an order ready. One leg down, two legs down. If this finishes bullish here, I like the look of that. Two legs down. No. It's a little bit too high anyway. There's not much room to the eyes, and it's a bit of a stem on there anyway, so. Yeah, I know it was a first. All I was just looking is to see if the bigger picture, there was two legs down, and if it was a small enough risk, I'd have taken that above VMA. Obviously, that's no good. Just to ride to the top. It is looking like it's bullish. See, I think let's take it from here. Yeah. I don't know whether that is right, but at the moment, it's certainly it's confirmed that anyway. So it has there and it has there. Touch here a couple of times, touch here. So it just doesn't look fantastic at the top really, but I'm only putting it down there just to see if it does take off at the EMA, because obviously there's where we want to take our trades. It is looking like it's bullish to me. I certainly expect it to get up towards this measured leg. Okay, that, well, yeah, okay, new high. That is a second entry long. I'd say the bottom of this trend channel is confirmed by these few bars here. It depends how high it goes. I'm expecting it to push higher, but it is a second entry long. Obviously, I don't want it going up here before I take it because there's not much room to the highs, but I'm expecting it to push higher. Let's get an order ready just in case. It does look very bullish. It's pushed off there. It's come back again, pushed up. It's a lower high. It's also a second entry long. I know there's not much room to the highs, but I am expecting it to come up here, but it's probably going to finish up here in about 20 ticks, isn't it? But what I might do is, I don't know, it's, I kind of hope it finishes crap anyway. It's probably going higher, I don't know, but it's right at the highs, and the sensible thing to do is leave it. It hasn't finished as bullish as I was expecting, but I'm still expecting prices to move up, but not enough to put anything on it. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is looking bullish, isn't it? I know the other side of this trend channel doesn't look fantastic, but we took off here, pushed up, come sideways, back to the EMA, took off again, come back, push sideways. It is looking bullish, but it's okay when something's looking right, but if it's not right, then the sensible thing to do is to, and this is what I've got to do. I've got to be prepared to, I mean, if there wasn't a stem there and that finished, there's not much room to the highs, but if it was a smaller risk, then maybe I'll take it, because I am thinking it's going to push up, because we've had this one leg. I am expecting another leg, but how far it pushes up, I don't know. So it's just, if it was around about this middle line, then I may have a crack and just, maybe just try and take 2 points or something. But I don't like the way it's backtracked a little bit, and it's all about doing the right thing, isn't it, really, to prolong your longevity. Don't say I'm expecting it. Why not? I am. No, what I'm saying is, if I take a long, it's because I'm expecting the market to go up. You know what I mean? Now, you got to expect things. If we have 2 legs down to here, I'm expecting the market to go up. Yeah, it's got to give me a setup, and I've got to look at the overall picture, and the overall picture is telling me we're moving up at the moment. That's what I mean. I don't mind. I'm taking a gamble here. I'm expecting it to go up. Sentiment and the way the market is pushing, it's telling me we're in an uptrend at the moment. That's what I'm saying. But obviously, if that bar there didn't have the stem and it was about here, then maybe I'd take it up for a couple of points to the top. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But it's okay to predict what's going on with the market, because it is partly about reading the market, isn't it? It's reading the conditions. If we're in the middle of this and we come back here, I'm expecting the market to go up, which is why I'm, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. I don't mean I'm guessing, so that's why I'm taking a trade. I just mean it's showing me that we're bullish at the moment, so you're bossy today, aren't you? Who else you upset today? Who else you bickering with at the moment? Hey, you need to play nicely, you guys. Play nicely. Play nicely. I like a bit of banter. I love a good argument, I do. I've had loads of them. I can't tell you how many times I've been banned off Facebook. I love a good debate, I do. Somebody put a post on Facebook, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and said, would you give up alcohol for £1 million? I went, I'd murder me bloody mother for £1 million, and I got banned for inciting hate and threatening behaviour. So I think I love a good debate, I do. But yeah, I know it's too close to the top, I can see that. But, obviously, two legs, if you like. Yeah, I know you've technically got another high there, but to me, that's 2 legs back to the EMA. And although that's got a bit of a stem on it, I don't think it was a bad trade to take that. Although technically, we're getting back to that debate that we had, about sort of some of the trades that some of the more experienced traders are taking. To me, 1 push down, and that's 2 pushes down. And obviously, it's not as bullish as I'd have liked, but I'd say it's come back to the EMA. It's confirmed it a little bit. So I'd say the chances are we're moving up, and obviously we have. So it's about just yeah. They don't understand the dark British humour. Yeah, I got to say, some people can take me wrong. What did I say? I called the panda guy a pussy once because he chickened out of a trade, and I think he got quite offended. Now, if I call someone a pussy, it's just you're saying you're a big girl. It's just friendly humour, but I think he took it the wrong way and said he might have to give me a warning. So I don't know, but I don't take many things serious, so you can say whatever you want about me, and it doesn't really offend me. I like a bit of banter. I do. I'm always winding people up and playing practical jokes on people. So, I don't think nothing really happened with the news, did it? I never saw anything really. So I'm assuming was the news. Sometimes you have these high impact newses and you're sat waiting, bracing yourself, and nothing really happened. So it was around about here, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. Nothing really. So I'm assuming it was as expected. So there is a failure there. So there's a second entry short. We've broken out of this little range. There may be some shorts there, and judging by the way that's pushed up quite strongly, I'd say there was a few in there. So that's a failure. And you'd have got a couple of points out of that quite quickly, actually. Yeah. So I am thinking it's likely going to get up to here. Which is our second leg, I'm guessing. Let's have a look. That's about right, isn't it? So whether we'll get up, whether we'll make an overall larger leg, I don't know, but that's just that push up and another push up that I've marked there. And then it may, I don't know, it may turn into an overall larger trend channel later on throughout the day, but some like, you know, the one, which one? Some British words you can't say in America, like, you know, the one, which one? You have to tell me now, won't you? Me and my friends, we're always winding each other up. We say some horrible stuff, but it's just messing around and it's just a bit of banter. But unless you know somebody, people can misjudge a bit. Yeah, but I called him a pussy. To me, it's just the same as a wuss or you big girl or come on, have, you know. To me, it's just harmless guy stuff in it, guy banter, you big girl type thing. Come on, you big girl's blouse. That's another one we use over here for you coward. Or, you know, it's just funny bantery stuff. But he did say he might need to give me a warning. So I don't know. I did apologise, but see that actually now I'm looking at it. Obviously, it's touching there. This could be a break. But it sort of it almost looks like there's a spike and channel there, doesn't it? I'm just thinking about the tops. It sort of does look more like that, doesn't it? It does look like it. Anybody else? It does look. Oh, that one. CUN. Oh, yeah. Yes, I got friends who use that every other word. I do. No, yeah. I don't think women like it over here so much, but I don't. Damn, I don't. Yeah, you don't. It's not one of those words you use much. It does look like a spike and channel, and the reason I'm saying that is because it seems to be fitted at the. It certainly looks better, doesn't it? I don't know what you guys think, but so I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I just kind of like the way it fitted there a couple of times, but maybe it's a spike and channel. It looks a little better. It fits a little nicer. Actually comes from a real word. Yeah, looks a bit better than that, doesn't it? It just looks a little bit, it's not, you know, because I think it's nice if it fits better at the top, and that fits relatively good, doesn't it? And see where this finishes, it might be slightly higher now. That looks right to me. It fits there and it fits there, but see what happens here. So you could, if that finishes bullish, you could call that sort of a hidden second entry. It hasn't anyway, but it's fitted nice there. See, so that's telling me that it seems to sit a bit better. And if we had it the original way, then that would be a break. So I'd be expecting it to go higher. So I don't think it matters anyway if. Yeah, if that finished bullish up here, then I'd say you could say that's a second entry long, but it looks stalled, like it's stalled a little bit here. So I suppose that's okay. Are we going up or are we coming down some more? And when you get that sort of mixed feelings, it tends to go a bit sideways. We've gone up, sideways, gone up, sideways, gone up, come back down, sideways. So, or it could sort of be more. It's hard to say at the moment, isn't it? I'd say it's probably going to go up, but obviously there's no setup there, and there's no way up really, is there? I'm expecting we're certainly in an uptrend at the moment, so that's why I'm expecting it to go up. But unfortunately, you just can't take that really. As bullish as it's looking, there's no failure or anything there. There's the new low. I'm getting better at sitting here. Actually, to be fair, I don't mind. I know it's the right thing to do. So I think you get used to it. Anyone have any experience with Lilu? Never tried Lilu. Yeah, I was seeing if there was a failure, but obviously with this coming down below here and below here, it's still bullish at the moment, isn't it? Although it's not rocketing up. But no, I've never tried Lilu, to be honest with you. I think I did a couple with Earn to Trade. I think Earn to Trade was the very first I tried. And then I did half a dozen or so at UProfit. And then I think it was Marlon, a guy I chat to in the US. He's sort of my little rock buddy. We've both been through tough times, and we tend to message each other at least a couple of 3 times a week. If we're having bad days, he'll message me and vice versa. Okay, there's a possible second entry long there. I prefer it to break above here. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying now. What was I saying? Gone blank. If that pushes up above here, I don't think it's looking like it's bearish. That to me, if it breaks above here, I think is looking bullish. And it's a higher low, and it's also a second entry long. So if it breaks above here and finishes above here, I'd like that to go long then. So I'm just going to get an order ready. Hope it breaks above there. In fact, if it doesn't and finishes bullish, I'll put my order. Okay, I don't mind that. I'll put it there. That's a higher low. You could say it's stacking a little bit, but it's only the top section of it, isn't it? I don't think it's a bad trade, but it's got to break above that bar for me. If it comes down a bit, I'll cancel it. We're still in this at the moment. We've got enough room to the highs. There's certainly 3.5, 4 points there, isn't there, I think? Yeah, certainly get out for 4 points there. Things have gone very slow, I have to say. We are still pushing up. Okay, so there's where I went long, wasn't it? Okay, it's stitching me up there, big style. Okay, that's where I went long. Okay, it is, especially after that one, it is starting to look a bit sideways there. So when that finished, I mean, I to be fair, I don't think I'd have taken that on a live account, to be honest with you, just by the fact that that's going there, especially when that one finished. It's likely going to go up, but I think Obviously, that was a bit of luck, wasn't it? I mean, I am expecting it to go up. To be honest with you, that was the trade there. That was the one where that finished, and obviously the way it rocketed up. So that's the failure. That's the failure you were looking at. So, okay, obviously, because that was the risk I set mine. I'm going to put that up a little bit and just bring this up. Stick it under it. Yeah, I should have cancelled that. And then obviously when that one, the trouble is, I don't even know whether you'd have got in there. It went up that quick. So that was the failure. I mean, that was a second entry long. See, that's why sometimes when I give myself an extra tick, if I'd have given myself an extra tick, that wouldn't have touched me. But it's not the right thing to do. So obviously, okay, I don't know why I'm in the red here. What is going on today? Any ideas? Why am I in the red? What is going on? Any ideas why I'm in the red? I didn't get stopped out. It shot up and took out my profit target. So why am I in the red? I'm going to have a look back on that. I got to say, this trend, this trade copy is frying my brain. I got to say, why am I in the red? I should have been up 4 points. Hold on, what is going on here? What is going on? What did I do? Right, okay, so that came down and hit me here, didn't it? So why am I down a pot? What is going on? Any idea? Look at the executions tab. Executions. Positions, you mean? Orders, positions, there's nothing there. Executions tab. Where's the executions tab? This was my entry here. Why did... I don't know what's going on here. How did that manage to come down and hit me down here? Oh, yeah. It's almost looked like the market spiked down and hit me here. That was my entry. And this is where I got stopped out. I was down for half a point. So how the hell did that come down and hit me? I know markets can move down quickly, but that doesn't make any flaming sense. I'll tell you what, if I'm showing your exit, I know. So there was my entry and it showed my exit here, which would make sense why I'm down half a point. So I don't understand why that happened. It's almost like the market spiked down and hit me, but surely it should show it. Looks like a glitch. Yeah, it's a bloody frustrating glitch, isn't it? Now, if I'd have been on a live account now, I'm expecting to be $400 up. That pissed me off, that would. I can't see how it's to do with this because everything worked as though it should do. So is it a glitch where? Is it a... data feed issues? Sim glitch. Oh, is it because it's a sim, is it? Right, when you say the sim, because when you're on a live account or a PA account, that's also a sim, isn't it? So I'm just wondering, is the data different? Because at the moment, the data I've got, it's coming from, I don't know. So who would be responsible for that? That's what I just don't get. So why did it take me out? I entered here. Shut up. I put my stop about here, didn't I? About here, I think. So when that came down and hit me, it would have took me out there. So I should have had... That was my entry there. So I should have had... Where did I put it to? It went up to here. I stuck it behind here. So I should have had 2.5 points there. I got no idea. Sim. When you say the sim glitches a lot, it is ridiculous, isn't it? Can you imagine if I'd have been on my live account for the first trade and I'd have taken that one and thought, yeah, happy days. 2.5 points up and now I'm in the red. I'm just lucky it happened on a demo. I've got to say, I've been using these charts now for over 1.5 years and I've never seen that. I've seen it come down quickly and spike me out here. Unless there was a spike quickly that, you know, the chart didn't pick it up. I don't know, I can't tell. 11 a.m. was the news release. Well, the only news I've got here is 1500 hours, which is 3 p.m. on mine. We're an hour past that. But shouldn't have messed up. Yeah, I mean, news hasn't done anything there, really, is it? Nothing's moved. It's just going a bit sideways. The mind boggles. Yeah, see, I don't mind so much if you can figure out why they happen. As executions. So it was a long position, yeah. So my entry. Oh, what's going on? I can't make a tell of these things. Okay, so 5525, and that's where it took me out. I bought it there, and that's where it took me out. I suppose that's one of the benefits of recording it, because at least you can get someone to look at it, but it has to be something with a copier. Yeah, that's the trouble. And, you know, I've spoken to V. Wilson, and he trades 20 PA contracts, 20 PA accounts with the Apex trade copier. Doesn't seem to have a problem, so I don't know. Strange, that is. See, that would affect me mentally, that would, if I was on the... if I was on a live account, because I'd expect a $250 win minimum. In fact, to be honest with you, if I'd have been at a live account, I'd have whacked it up here quickly as soon as we hit the eyes. I just don't know why that's happened. I can take a screenshot of it. Odd. I'll take a picture on my phone and post it, see if anyone can shed any light on it. It is frustrating, I've got to say. Try reloading. Maybe it will fix it. Yeah, I will do. Let me just take a quick snapshot of this. Frustrating, to say the least. Luckily, I'm on a demo. Luckily, otherwise I'd have been pretty down about that. Can you imagine if you've had 10 counts or 20 accounts losing, you know, whatever? Go back to the log tab a moment. Log tab on there. Let's have a look. Where's the log tab? Oh, sorry. I'll leave that there. Does that make any sense to you, bud? I just wanted to, I left it there, didn't I? I definitely left it there. I'm just thinking, did I drag it down and drop it here or something? No, surely not. If I'd have brought my stop down and dropped it here, it wouldn't have taken me out because the market was up here. I don't know, can you make anything of that? Just looking, okay. So if I bring that over a bit, you may be able to see the rest of it. Oh, sorry, stop. Just bring this over. I bring that up a bit. Can't see anything that you did wrong. Makes no sense. No. Well, I've taken a snapshot of it, and I'll post it on a couple of Facebook sites, see if someone has come across it or faced any. I have to say that's the first time I've noticed anything like that, so that's the one saving grace. But I mean, it couldn't happen, could it? Obviously, the market was up here. It's to get stopped out there, I'd have had to wait till here. So I don't know. Go figure. In the copy program, can't see much issues. When you say the copy program, you mean you think it's to do with the trade copy? Do you think? Yeah, see, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Right. Oh, does it really? If that's the issue, then I don't mind that. I'm only using the SIM accounts at the moment just to get some use out of the trade copy. So maybe as the lead account makes a lot of problems. Well, Nicholas, I hope you're right, mate, because that puts me in mind. It has to be the trade copy. I see so many people having problems with it. Yeah, I know what you mean. It is nerve-wracking, I've got to say, because you can invest a lot more money, can't you, in some of these systems. Okay, there's a second entry long there. See where that finishes. That's the first break of this, isn't it? I don't like the way that's finished, so... Yeah, it is frustrating, especially when you don't exactly know what it is. I'm hoping that it's the SIM, but I will post a picture of this showing where my entry was, where it stopped me out. In fact, I'll redo that because I put my order there. Sorry, my stop. That's where my stop was. That's the good thing about having it recorded, so at least you can look back on it or get someone else to possibly. So that was my entry. That's where it stopped me out. That's where I brought my stop loss. So that would have taken me out, and it did. I could understand it if that spiked down like that, but it would leave a trace of it, wouldn't it? You'd see it. So I don't get it. There's going to be some longs, I'd say, trapped there. Oh well, it's happened anyway. Not much I can do about it apart from just ask some questions. Every time we have an issue like this, hopefully we all learn from it. But I'm hopefully putting it down to the fact that I use a sim. But what I will say is, I believe we use a sim account on the evaluations, and then when we first go to a PA account, we use a sim again. So maybe it's, I don't know. Let's put that like that. Just taking a quick snapshot. So I had the same problem and found out that the position on the followers close and the lead is open. Better close trade, copy it, and close the position. Trouble is, I had something similar a week or two ago when, excuse me, I'd taken a short and only the lead account triggered. The others hadn't, but they were sat down there as orders. As I brought my stop down, hit my stop, the other three positions I had, the other three Apex evaluations I had then went into long trades. And as obviously the market was coming down, so I ended up losing some money. But fortunately, I spoke to Apex and they refunded it. But the thing is, I haven't cancelled anything. And if that something like that had happened, there would be positions and orders open, wouldn't there? But there's nothing open. There's no orders open. So the same problem. That if the position on the followers closes, your lead account is open. Better close trade copy and close the position. Otherwise, it reopens positions on followers. The trouble is, there was nothing. I haven't closed anything down. And there's obviously nothing. There's nothing open. So I will read. I'll go back and have a look at it and find out what happened. But it is a bit frustrating, isn't it? Because if that was a live account, and I'd have been expected to be, I could have been a damn sight more than $200 up. I think that would have taken me out at about $250 profit. So if I'd have been down $50, that's taken $300 out of my account, basically. I'd have been pretty cheesed off about that. I don't use sim account as a main lead and makes a lot of problems. Daryl said that before. Okay, that's good enough for me. That's the best answer I've got. Okay, so that's a useful lesson then, isn't it? Fortunately, I'm using two sims anyway, just purely and simply just to get some use out of this trade copier, obviously. Okay, so it's happened anyway, and sometimes these things are sent to test us, aren't we? Just wonder if there's going to be some long strap there. Okay, so it'll give me something to discuss later on in the Facebook groups. I kind of like to post everything because a lot of times other people have come across it, and if they haven't, at least it helps other people. And, we're all in the same boat, aren't we? We're all trying to make life easier for ourselves, make more money, have less hassle. Just wondering, because we've had this. Let's see what happens here. See if it goes higher first. I'm just wondering, because I adjusted this, although it does fit nice, maybe it was a bit further down there and we've had a break and a new high. So if I had left it here, was that then a break and a new high, and now we're coming? You know what I mean? That's the trouble sometimes if you adjust it. It doesn't look right there, does it, though? I've got to say that did look better. And it certainly fits better along the top, doesn't it? So let's just see if this pushes up. And that looks better. It's it's at the right angle, isn't it? But obviously, bringing it down here, it would show that then as a break. 2 pushes up and a new high. And now a possible reversal. Or this might just be a couple of legs down and then it might push up. So keep an eye on that. Try Replicant. They offer 7 days free trial. Trouble is, how much can you learn in 7 days? Frustrating thing is I paid $150 for it. So you know, I hear lots of people saying they've used it and they get very little problems with it. So do I just jump and pay another $150 out for something that may, you know, work similar? I'm just wondering if is it more down to sometimes the speed of the markets, maybe, rather than the software. It's hard to say at the moment. I haven't been using these things long enough to have a clearer picture. So I'll ask the question later. I'll post that picture and just, you know, people can look on the video, can't they, and maybe get a better idea. But fortunately, it's happened on a sim, so hopefully it is the sim that has the problem. I have had people saying they prefer Replicanto, but the trouble is, if you start off on Replicanto and it's worked okay for you, you'll think it's a good program. You trade playback in 7 days. What does that mean? Let's see how it works. You trade playback in 7 days. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. You trade playback in 7 days. I've had a problem with Apex. I've never had a problem with it. Yeah, used it since. Yeah, have I had many problems with it? I had that one issue that the lead triggered on a short and the others didn't. But those, so for instance, if I put a sell stop here, yeah, now, if that hits that sell stop and that lead account triggers, but that one doesn't, yeah, that one is just sat there waiting, isn't it? And then when I actually brought my stop down and it hit the stop, it then turned that account into a long trade and I ended up losing money on it. So that's the issue. So what I tend to do, in fact, I'll tell you what, let's just put a trade in here a minute. We're on a demo anyway, so let's just put a long on here. Probably going higher on it, but let's just put a long trade and see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so working and working. I don't know why it's saying accepted, isn't it? Accepted. They're all working. Let's have a look at positions. Okay, so both positions are working, aren't they? So they're working okay. Orders. I'm just wondering if it's more important to see this. Accepted. Okay, right. There's just a working and accepted. So at least I know there. So I'm just wondering, is it more important to have that there or that? It's hard to say, isn't it? Right. I was £300 down. If I should have been $250 up, so I'm going to use this and count this. Let's have a look. Looks like it's going up, doesn't it? So giving me $300 back. Hopefully. Replay previous days. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, I obviously record all my trades are recorded. All my sort of streams are recorded. See, so something froze here. No. Okay, I thought something might have froze there. That's a bit frustrating, I've got to say. Yeah. What's it as well? It's Vince, the guy that had that big payment. He's got $2,300,000 accounts, and he uses Trade Copier. So, what can you say? If he's trading some serious money, why is it happening on some of us? Or perhaps he gets issues like this, but he identifies them. You know, sometimes because I'm still new to it, my eyes are focused purely here. Perhaps I need to just glance over here a bit and just make sure everything's working as it is. But obviously that seemed to be some sort of a glitch, didn't it? So I don't know. Move your stop like last time. Yeah, if it push up a bit, I'll bring my stop up a bit. I just want to try and get some green so it looks green. Not that it matters, does it? It's a demo, and I was just frustrated, so I should have been $250 up. Demo's going to shag me up now. Coming down, haven't we? See if it takes me stop out. I've moved me stop anyway, see what happens. Let's see, orders. Is this changing as I'm taking them? That's the good thing about a demo. You can accepted. Yeah, it seems to be working okay. I should have done this before, actually, just get used to this. I mean, they're obviously working in succession. They're working as they should do, both long positions. Let's see what happens with this. I generally use brackets. I'll flatten everything, function. Works well, yeah. See, what I think I need to do is I've got accounts down here, so I don't need to look at that. Positions, maybe. I think the important one is positions. He says keeps the positions tab open, and then he just right click and clicks flatten everything. So what I want to do is hopefully get a bit higher and jam me stopping, and then see if I can get a bit higher up here, and I'll jam me stopping, and then see what it does. Drawing tools up here, they're from Mac's website. If you become a member of Mac's website, if you're not, I'd highly recommend it. He charges $125 for a year. And if you're learning or you're quite new to trading, there's a wealth of information on there, but that is part of this little download add-on. So yeah, it's from Mac's site, that is. priceactiontradingsystem.com. If you go on there, you won't find a better trading system at that price anywhere. Scalp for 2 points. Well, I'm only on a demo. I want to go up to $300 because that's what I would. Sorry, $250. So I'm just going to do it. I want some point. I want some green. I know it's not real, but it makes me feel like it's real. So leave me alone. Probably going to come and hit me in red now. I just want to get green. I know it's a demo, but I want me 250. Where is it? What I want to do is get above here, and then I'm going to drop me stop in and see what it does when we stop. See if it takes me stop out. If I can get up another $100. If I can get up to $300, I'll drop me stop in. I'm guessing it's looking like it's going to make a new high anyway. Yeah, yeah. If you're new to trading, I'd have to. This is what we're trading here. PATS, what they call it for short. Priceactiontradingsystem.com. It's just Mac's system, but it's a great system, and if you can learn it and master it, you can make a lot of money out of it. But $125 for a year subscription is peanuts. I got to say, you won't find a better deal than that anywhere. Okay, that's definitely pushing higher, that is. So let's let it go a bit more, and I want to jam me stopping it then. I got to say, it's a lot less stressful trading on a demo. I got no idea why. I wish trading was as easy as that. I got to say, I wish it was as nice as trading on a demo. Yeah, triple test is something I've not done much with, really, to be honest with you. That might be something for later on down the line when I'm a bit more experienced. Something maybe what I can do is identify them and just put a little, put a little line under them and just say, okay, that looks like a triple test, and then just see whether it would have whether it would have worked. Because you can do that, can't you? Just put a little mock trade in and just work out where you'd have come out. But it is a good system, yeah. Yeah, they do, don't they? I think I would say the Panda guy he's veered away from Max. He's gone slightly more towards Al Brooks, I think, isn't he? And I think they're very similar, Al Brooks and Max, aren't they? I think Al Brooks, from what I believe, Al Brooks goes for more points. I might be wrong, but what little I've seen of his, I think he goes for more points. And Thomas Wade, I think, is very much Max. Sticks pretty religious. Let's see if it goes up. Looks like we're after a new high then. So what I'm going to do is let this tick above it a little bit more. Brooks and Mac, yeah, different. I'm not sure how different they are. I believe Mac got his system from Al Brooks and maybe adapted it. Okay, that seemed to work okay, didn't it? Positions are closed, orders are closed, everything seems to be fine. Okay, so I don't know, maybe it was just one of those freak things. Let's hope it is possibly Wilson's too. Yeah, I've noticed Wilson, when he trades, he takes quite a lot of trades and he gets limit orders, and when it breaks above, he doesn't necessarily drop it down. He sort of waits to see what it's going to do first. He seems like sort of a nervous trader, I think, sometimes. But I've spoke to him, and he uses the Apex trade copy, and he trades 20 PA accounts now. I think that guy's going to make a lot of money. I do. He's a nice chap. He's given me my front page here, where I with the disclaimer. He let me copy it, so he's a nice guy. But and he trades, I think, one contract on his. And the beauty of having 20 accounts. I mean, if he makes, I don't know, even if he makes $100 on each, that's $2,000 a day theoretically. So I think he'll do all right. Actually, he's because he's had his own trials and tribulations, like us all. So I wish him, the best of luck, and I think he'll do well. But he's not mentioned any issues he's had with trade copy. He says he's been okay with it, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Sorry about my dog's barking. But yeah, that seemed to work okay. So who knows? Who knows? Definitely gone slow now, hasn't it? So we've had a break, and it looks like it's going to make a new high or close to it. Excuse me, just for 5 minutes, guys. I'm just going to we've just had something delivered, I think. I'm just going to have a 5-minute break and make myself a cup of tea, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I'm back. Okay, right, yeah, we've hit that high, new high. Come back from $900 down right now at break even, $20 for a sandwich. That's all right. It's quite nice, isn't it, when you come back from down? What have I missed, lads? How did you add a new SIM to the account? A new SIM. Click there, right click, add SIM account. Simple as that. So just click on your SIM, or click anywhere actually, I think. Yeah, add simulation account. Simple as that. I just added, I usually only just have one. I added another one to try and play with this trade copy to try and get some. I think it's probably best to leave it on positions, I think. But obviously, that whatever happened there, I don't think it was nothing to do with positions. So, but what I missed. Let's have a look. That's how that. Might be done for the day. Oh, you're back done, are you? Yeah. Money gangster trade. You have a channel like the first. You have a channel like the what? First spike and then channel. On about here, or have you've drawn it more? What's it? Well, to be honest with you, I try and not adjust them too much. That channel looks right to me, and we've had a break and a new high, which is what I expected. So that channel's played out. Now the trouble is, what I like to do is to let it. At the moment, it's played out. We've had the break, and we've pushed up, and we've had a new high. Okay, so now if we come back here a couple of legs and keep moving up, then I'll adjust this a little bit like that. So I'm assuming you went from here, yeah, then I'll adjust it like that a little bit. And that fits okay. But the trouble is, it's easy to do that and for it to come down here and you think, oh, we've got a break, and I'll go long again. That's the trouble sometimes when we've already had a break and a new high. Theoretically, that's played out. And we've also come very close to this measured move. It's down here a bit, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We've almost hit this measured move here, although it's a bit of a scraggy one. But the point I'm saying is, if it breaks down here, you might think, oh, I'll go long because we've had a break. Well, technically, we've already had a break, so I always like to leave mine there until we... It's like about right, yeah. Until we continuously start to move up. At least then I can remind myself, be careful going long, although it might go long because we've already had a break at a new high. And that's the trouble sometimes. It can lead you into a false sense of security, which is why I leave now my trades as they are. And so I can clearly see now we've had a break and we've pushed up and made a new high. So that channel has now played out. I'm not saying it's not going to go higher, but if it does continue to go on here up and down, then I'll extend it then. But I did that the other week. I changed my channel. We had a break and I went long and it came down because if I'd have left the channel where it previously was, where we'd already had the break at a new high, I wouldn't have got into that trade. This is a possible failure now. See, there's a possible second entry long. Well, that doesn't look like a perfect bar to go long. But there are going to be, if anybody's got their channel drawn maybe a little bit different, then there's probably going to be some longs in there, but obviously that's not where I'd want to be going along at the moment. That channel's played out, so I want to give it some breathing space to do what it's got to do. Just a sheet profit target on my evaluation account, and it's day 7. Should I request? Yeah. No, they'll contact you. Now, I've just passed mine. This is day 7 as well. So I usually get my email about 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. This is UK time, so you're probably going to get it this evening, I'd say. So you've got to have a paid PA to trade on a sim there. You've got to have a paid Apex to trade sim on there. When will the Apex account become a PA account? What'll happen is at the moment, if I get onto my account, just log into my account quickly. If I click on account summary, yeah, at the moment, yeah. There's my account at the moment. It's showing 6 days. So after the market closes today and reopens, that'll then click over to 7 days completed, and then you'll get a message saying congratulations. You've passed your evaluation, and you'll get an email. What you'll do is you'll open it. If you've not already done it before, you'll open it and you'll get a certificate. And you'll go into the section where you've got to sign up for a PA. So you've got to tick and sign a few things. Put in, I know in the UK, I have to put in my passport number. You'll pay the fee. You can either pay a monthly fee of about $85 or a one-off fee, which on the $50,000 account, I think it's about $140. And then I believe that's it, if I remember rightly. It's all pretty quick. But yeah, when you get your email, download your certificate. Print it out, put it on the wall, and pride of place if you so desire. And then yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Sign a couple of forms, pay the PA fee, the PA fee, and you're off and running. So for the following day, I got my emails between 8 and 10 Eastern time. Fill out the contract and pay the fee quickly. Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yeah, it's about right between 8 and 10. I get mine early hours of the morning. I fluff my evaluation on the last day. Oh, that's hard to take, that is, James. I didn't mean to do it, and it cost me lessons. Yeah, I think if you ever fail on something like that, try and get something positive out of it, even if it's a lesson, because I've done it many times. I'll tell you what I've done as well. I've done this a few times. Sometimes I'll try and I know a lot of traders do this, they try and pass it quickly, because they want it done and dusted. And I've done that before with I've traded 5 and 10 contracts, and I've got to about $2,700 and think I'm home and running, and I take a poor trade and I lose it, and I move my stop, and I've blown accounts like that. You'll do all that sort of thing, but the more you fail, the more you blow these accounts, the more it'll drum it into your head that the way you're trading doesn't work, and it tunes your brain into thinking differently. So, you know, that I've read so many books about trading, and I have Audible as well, and I've got dozens and dozens of books on psychology, and I've had them playing during the day when I've been driving or when I go to bed, and nothing that they suggest has helped me. The only thing that's helped me is time. And streaming's helped me as well, because you're accountable. Every experience is educational. Absolutely. That's a good attitude to take, that is. Every time something goes wrong, you learn from it. And that's how. And if you keep doing that and keep trying and keep studying and keep trying, sooner or later you'll get somewhere, and you'll get your rewards. But you know, trading isn't easy. And if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And I kind of like that, because when I become a successful trader, and I believe I will, and I start taking home some decent monthly salaries, I can guarantee you some of my friends and family members are going to be saying, "Oh, show me how to do it." And I can have a little chuckle to myself because I know what type of person they are. And I'm thinking, you ain't got a hope in hell. Because I've had one or two of my family members, sort of slightly out and not close family members, have gone, why do you think you could become a trader? You know what I mean? People question it. Yeah, you'll never be, you know what I mean? And I can't wait to rub their noses in it. I can't wait to turn up in a nice car with a nice holiday booked and go, you know, because I guarantee they'll be saying, oh, show me how to do it. And I can just have a little chuckle to myself and go, yeah, right then. Like that's going to happen. I like that guerrilla trader guy. I like his attitude to trading. And I watch him now and again. I've just started watching him over the last couple of days, but I do like him. And I do like the fact that he trades for more points. That's what I aspire to do, being able to read the charts better so I can, you know, come out with, like for instance, you know, things like these second legs and that. If you've got an idea where the market's going, and you're a confident chart reader, it helps in your decision making when it comes to taking profits. You know, if you take something down here, you're thinking, okay, where's it going? And if you're good at reading the charts, it'll give you more confidence. So, you know, I mean, this was a break, and it's looking okay. I chucked in a demo account just to practice something, but I was quite happy to run it up because I know a lot of the times that when we have a break of this channel, it moves up, and although it's quite choppy, it's clearly choppy, but with a bullish. It's clearly moving up. So, you know, the more experience you get, the more confidence you have of you know, a lot of people will trade these for a point or 2 points, but you know, if you'd have gone in here, I don't know, somewhere here, and you know, it just goes to show how many points are available if you can read these charts and then have the belief in your own skills and the confidence then to be able to ride them and get, you know, a few points out of them. It's clearly going sideways now, that, isn't it? But I like to try and predict where things are going based on what I can see. And you do get better and better at it. But if you can predict, you know, work out, because we're all studying human behavior here, so if you can look at this and work out what human beings are thinking, and then you start to get to understand them, and then you have a better idea of where the market's going or where it's going to hit high, you know, and it'll help with your decision making, and you'll make more money out of it. Yeah, absolutely agree. Chart time. I noticed a couple of people said, oh, no, you want to do, when you're learning, 1 or 2 trades and leave it. I'd say while you're learning, you want to spend as much time in front of the chart as you can. Because what you're studying here is human behavior. What are human beings thinking when we're coming up to here? They're going to be thinking, well, we've come up here and come down. We've come up here and come down. What are we likely to do? Chances are we're going to come down. And the more you see these movements and these patterns and understand how people are thinking, it's sort of like, it is trading psychology, isn't it? Learning psychology, how human beings think. You know, I see this really big, strong push down, yeah, breaking a new low. And what are people thinking? That's a big, strong push down. Is it likely to go up? And you see a big bar like that, and look what happens. It goes up just as quick. So it is studying what human beings are thinking when they look at stuff like this, and you'll get better and better at it. But yeah, I'd say, especially when you're learning in those early, you know, the early months, I'd spend as much time as you can. And then maybe when you start to get some success, then cut your trades down to maybe a couple a day. But I used to trade from about 1 o'clock UK time up till about 8:30 UK. So I'd trade for about 7.5 hours a day. Purely and simply because it was spending a lot of time in front of the chart. It doesn't really matter so much whether you're winning or losing. Because in the early days, you're just going to be randomly taking stuff. And you learn as you go along. But I'd definitely say more time, chart time. I'm yet to hear an experienced trader say that lots of chart time isn't a good idea, so I'd absolutely say that. You can learn from Yeah, absolutely. Because you look more into your losses. If you win, you just think, yeah, one happy days, move on. But when you lose, you want to know why, don't you? And you look into it. And the losses, you'll get more value from the losses than you will win. So I absolutely agree. I make a habit of replaying my lost trades every weekend. Painful, but absolutely. You've got to learn, because it's your losses that's going to, cause the psychology problem. And not only that, you've got to figure out where you went wrong. We all have lessons in life, don't we? If you trip out, if you're running as a kid and you trip over, it doesn't take a genius to work out, what you did wrong. But obviously trading is a little bit more complicated. But yeah, I always do. I always mark mine, and I always, at the end of every day, I save my chart image at the end of it, and there's all my charts there, or most of them. So I can always look back and figure out. But if I ever get a trade, which is not often now, if I ever get a trade that looked right but didn't perform, I'll take a photo of it and put it on one of the Facebook groups, and I'll ask the more experienced guys what went wrong. But to be honest with you, I'm at the stage now where if I took a trade and it didn't go wrong, I can pretty much work out why. Yeah, it's starting to fit nice along there. Although that's not looking right, is it? So, not that I'll keep it there anyway. We're certainly moving up, aren't we? In fact, let's see how my crypto's doing. I got a long position in Bitcoin. Well, okay, it's up a bit, 2%. It is fun trading as well. Well, learning trading. I know fun might be a wrong word, but I really enjoy learning stuff I do, and I love to be able to work out what's going on, and I love to be able to, better myself. I'm always learning something. Life's too short to do the same thing day in, day out, isn't it? There's a lot more to life, and I've just never been the type of person that can go and do the same old mundane job for crap money all his life. I've always on the lookout for something better in life. We're only here once, aren't we? You might as well get the most out of it. But I love the challenge of learning to read it, I do. Because when I think where I am now compared to where I was a couple of years ago, sometimes I'll look back on my old charts actually, and I'm taking sort of shorts here or something. I'm seeing a second entry short there, but obviously I'm not thinking about the context and some of the trades I was taking. Just wondering now, this uptrend here has played out, whether we're just working down and working this range, but that hasn't come up very high. So I'm just wondering whether we may be working down a bit. So ordinarily I'll be tempted to fade this. In fact, I'm not gonna, because I wouldn't do it on a live account. But we have broken out of it. In fact, let's do it anyway, just to see if it works. But I wouldn't do this on a live account because I've stopped picking top and bottoms. I kind of opened it feeling it's crap, but yeah, it has anyway. The reason I wouldn't normally is because come down a bit and we haven't pushed as high, so just wondering whether we are moving down a bit. It's a bit early to say at the moment, but that trend has broken and it has played out, so I just wonder whether we and I put that there just because, just out of interest, just to see where it goes. So obviously I'm not going to trade it as a downtrend because it hasn't confirmed it yet, but it's just interesting to see if you're on the same wavelength as the other traders. So if it does come up here and break and come down, then I'm thinking on the right lines. So there's me going to be here with a PA tomorrow. Who else? G Money, you're going to be here, aren't you? Who else was it? Who else was it? Somebody else. Somebody else. I can't remember. I think somebody else was on a PA tomorrow, so there's going to be a couple of us. Hopefully I'll do a better job than I managed to get the last one up to about $7,500, just under $7,500, and I had a $2,000 payday. And then, because I had, if you look back on my videos, I had 18 green days in a row, and I think that probably upped my confidence level a little bit more than it should have been. And I came into the market quickly and just took a random short, actually just overconfidence, and it failed. And it pushed up a little bit more and had another bearish bar, and I took that out of pure frustration. So I lost two, and I was like $700 down quickly, and that messed with my head. And instead of thinking, right, 2 losses, let's go home, because I did it in the first 30 minutes, instead of thinking, right, 2 losses, that's it for the day, stupidly I carried on, and I ended up taking a $2,300 loss from my PA account in one day, and that severely messed with my head. What I wouldn't do to turn that clock back and to have gone home at $700 down, but that really got me down. I lost basically a week's worth of profit in a day, and that messed with my head, and I came back the following day and took about a $1,900 loss. So what I should have done in hindsight was, what I will say is, if you do mess up and take a big loss, and it's a substantial loss, I'd recommend having a couple of days off, clearing your mind, because you're going to come back frustrated, and that's exactly what I did, and ended up taking a bigger loss. And my PA account then went down to about $1,200, and I almost had a sort of flippant, carefree attitude to it then. Well, it's nearly blown, I might as well take a stupid long then. And then I ended up doing something stupid and moving my stop, and just I had a bit of a meltdown. But that's my fault for not sticking to the rule, implementing the rule that if I trade 2 losses in a day, walk away. So that's what I'm absolutely going to do this time around. So I would recommend that, regardless of how positive and how big your account grows, still keep those rules, because just because you're a better trader and you're making money doesn't mean the market's going to be any more forgiving or any more giving. It's not going to change. So I think the confidence went to my head a little bit, and I made some stupid decisions. So I would say, once you start building an account, get extra cautious, if anything. Okay. This hasn't really confirmed yet. So if I was to take a second entry short here, I think it wouldn't be the sensible thing to do. I mentioned this earlier. Brandt posted a chart, and he something similar, a push down, a correction, and another push down, and then it came back to the M8, and it looked like a really nice short, and I would have took it myself, and it ticked down and came out because it hadn't confirmed it properly. So we learn from our mistakes, and we learn from other people's mistakes. He posted it. He learned something, and I learned something from him. So it's all about helping each other. But I'd have took exactly the same trade he did, and then we had I can't remember what happened. It popped out or something, and he took another short. I would have done exactly the same thing. So, see, technically it's pushed straight through the M, straight above it, so it hasn't confirmed that yet. And if this does finish bearish, it's hit it 3 times, but it doesn't mean to say it's going to come down. You got your third PA email coming tonight. Oh, fantastic. Oh, you're looking forward to that, weren't you? I'm looking forward to mine. It's always nice to get that email, doesn't it? It makes you feel like you're off and running again. This time I'm going to get it right. You're working on 2 evals right now, Tyler, are you? Brilliant. It's exciting, isn't it? It's a nice feeling, isn't it? And it's all I recommend is while you're on them, try and go away on a nice positive green day. Careful what I said there. Yeah, try and always end up on a green day if you can, but keep some rules and follow those rules. That's all I can say. Take your time and follow the rules. Wait for those trades to just jump out at you and, wave and go, here I am. Those obvious ones. We all know those trades because when they pop up, you can't wait. You can't get your flipping order and quick enough. Yeah, see, at the moment, we're in a range here, and all that's happened is we've had a breakout and we've come back up to the MA. So it'd be easy to take a short there. Although it does look like it certainly fits there, but has that confirmed yet? It's hard to say. See if it ticks below and then, because that's a bit of a doji on mine, but it's a small risk, but it's like on someone else's chart, that might look a bit better. A tick below and it might look a whole lot better, that. Looking forward to February payday. Yeah, that's it. You got to put your order in between. I remember my first payday, actually. I didn't all feel good. Finally get some of that thrown away money back. Yeah, it's a nice feeling, actually. I kept looking in my deal account every 5 minutes. I saw it registered, but it wasn't paid in. It took about 3 days, but I was looking every 5 minutes. And it is a nice feeling, I got to say. It's a lovely feeling when you first earn something properly. Makes you feel like all that hard work and suffering. Which is why I wasn't too heartbroken about blowing me PA account eventually, because I know what went wrong. It was that one big losing day. If I'd have come away after 2 losing trades, I'd have still been in the game today. That's my first eval on my third account. You've done all right then. Failed it pretty quickly. Yeah, it's all I was saying, Tyler, is don't beat yourself up about it. The way you're acting is normal. So that's a second entry short there, but this is one that happened the other day. I'm going to take it anyway, and let's see if it does stop me out. It's triggered anyway. Okay. See if it does come down, but they're easy to go back up and stop you out there, but it does look like it has played out, so see what happens. But let's just check everything's working here. Positions, orders, that's working. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's don't beat yourself up. You can be brutal on yourself, I got to say. You took that one, yeah. It does look right, doesn't it? That I'm just going to take it down to here. It's probably going to go lower, but see what happens. But I think it's okay. But yeah, I would say one thing, and I've read a lot, and I try and implement that in my trading. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be too hard on yourself, because the way you're acting is perfectly normal. That's how human beings act when things go wrong. Especially when there's risk and money involved. You just go off the rails, don't you? All the rules and all the plans, they go out the window, and you make stupid, rational decisions, and that is a perfectly normal way to act. And that's why we've got to go through this process to slowly turn our brain from a normal, everyday Joe to a guy that trades for a living and who can accept risk But I did read somewhere, in fact, it was that gorilla guy, he said that the best traders make the best losers. So if you can lose and be able to deal with it, then you'll make a better trader for it, because it's the losses ultimately that cause the problems. See what I mean about this? Just looking a bit. I was actually doing 10 contracts at first, but I would blow them and have to restart. Yeah, one thing I did stick with all the way along is I only ever took one account at a time. I never ever took more than one account. So the only time I took more than one account is when I passed my P8, and looking reverse in it, is I passed my PA, and then I added a couple of more accounts, which is fair enough once I'd earned some money. But I would say if you're in the phase of blowing, it's much better to just blow one. It just gets too expensive otherwise. Just blow one at a time. Because if you're using trade copy, all you're doing is copying a bad trade. So I would say absolutely just stick with one account. Just go with one account. I'm hoping we're going to get an high low here, or a lower high. Just stick with one account, because you're just blowing twice as much otherwise. See what I mean about that? You'd think we'd be coming down, but it might not be the case. That's why I would possibly have avoided that one. I'm hoping we just get another leg down, but what would I have gone for? You wouldn't even got 2 points out of that. I'm hoping we get a lower high there, because the trouble is that's confirmed there. It's sketchy sometimes because we've been going a little bit of sideways, so it's easy to misread this and think, well, what have we done at the moment? We've had a break, we've rode it back in, and we've pushed a bit higher and pushed. Each one of these is higher and higher, which is telling me it's going up. Which is why I wouldn't have normally took this, and I won't be shocked if that stopped me out, because I wouldn't have normally taken that at the moment, because we've just been ranging and we've just dropped out the bottom, but it looks like I'm going to be proven right. Unless this comes down here. Now that is a failure, see, so that is a bullish bar. That's a failure, which is triggered. So if that comes down below here and stops that out, then I'm going to get my low there, but it's looking like it's going to, which is why I wouldn't have taken that trade. It's not bearish enough for me, and it's just sideways with a breakout at the moment, but see what happens. I don't mind doing this. I'm just on a sim at the moment, but I did mention that I wouldn't have normally took that. I'm only, this is just a demo at the moment till tomorrow, which I wouldn't have took that otherwise. I did mention that. It's probably going to stop me out. That's what I mean about that. See, it's easy to see. Well, it's a downtrend, so where's the problem? But if you take that away, what are we seeing? We're seeing a range with a breakout, and it's come in, bounced again, and each time it's bounced, it's gone higher and higher, which is why taking that trade was, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, JJ, I'm just, my PA starts tomorrow. I'm only on a demo, but I was just making a point of it's easy to misconstrue that as a downtrend and take a short when it was sideways just with a breakout. You could even take that probably a bit lower. It probably fits better, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's probably somewhere around about right. So really, if you look at, I mean, we're in a range, aren't we? So this was a breakout, but it is easy to draw these, and Brandt did it the other day. Something similar. See that and think, actually, that fits really nice. There's a range. Can we come down, pushed up, come down, pushed up. 2 legs up, lovely bearish bar, engulfs that side. Let's get into that one. You wouldn't have got 2 points out of it before it reversed, so that's why I just made a point. That's why I took that. Because while I'm on a demo, I wouldn't have normally done, but for that obvious reason. But if you take that out, it's easy to draw these and think, we're in a downtrend. We've had a break that's played out, but at the moment we're just going sideways. So there's going to be a lot of people going along there, and there as well, taking that failure. And obviously, once it gets above the stops on that midline, then it's pushing up to the top. You bought my stop, did I? Yeah, I wouldn't have normally took that. I did, I was sure about that for that obvious reason. Sometimes it's nice to see it, isn't it? But it's very easy to get into these things and think, oh, here we go, look, here's another short here. When really they're just fading this range. But I'm on a demo, so I don't mind. I don't mind doing that. That's a good thing about demos. They're so not stressful. 5 micros, anything else is a recipe to blow accounts. Yeah, that's okay. A lot of people do. And I got a lot of respect for that. I consider it a bit chicken. Yeah, the only reason I did it is because I'm on a demo. But it is easy. I mean, that's clearly a range at the moment. We're clearly going sideways, and we had a breakout. Most breakouts fail. And that, if you look, was 2 legs down, almost to the nearest tick. And then what happened? It popped back in, but it came in like this. And there's a failure as well. So you got guys in the trade here, you got guys in trade there. So there's a lot of longs in there. And as that pushed up there, that's a second entry short. There's going to be some less experienced traders in there. And as it's ticked above that, look, it's gone straight up. So you've got to be careful doing that. That's what I mean. That's what I meant about hitting these unconfirmed. It's hit it until it's come down and come back and come down again. I wouldn't count that as confirmed. All that is 2 legs down and then a fade. And then a fade of this fade of the range. So we've had a bit of an overshooting. We've had the same that side, which often happens. Oh yeah, you took it. Yeah, I was tempted to get out because I thought, I was aware that what was likely to happen, but I'm on a demo at the moment, so I just let it run. But you can see the trouble is that when I first started trading, that's what I was doing. I was thinking, oh, there's a second entry short, I'll take that. But the bigger picture is telling you we're in a range here. Do you know what I mean? And if you sort of look at the range, right at the top of the range, we've had 1, 2 clear pushes down, and that is a tick or two. It's bullishish. It's a tick or two. We broke out the bottom. We're clearly respecting this. We broke out the bottom, and they say most breakouts fail, and that one did, and it went in. It didn't go as strongly because it's not that bullish. It's where you would expect it to come in, but we've had a little bit of pullback, and another one here that finished bullish. And there's some shorts in there because that's the second entry short, so that's triggered. So a lot of people would have, if they didn't take that, they'd have took that, and as soon as that pushed over here, it eats up those stops, which causes it to push right up to the top. And if you look on the bigger picture as well, bigger picture is it's bullish, so it's easy to get caught into these little traps, like the little shorts there. Whereas the bigger picture really is, it's probably somewhere in the region of a spike and channel that. Let's draw that like that. It's probably, at the end of the day, I'm not saying at the moment because it's but to me, yeah, I mean, it's a bit messy anyway, but let's forget that. But it's clearly bullish. We've had a push up sideways, push up sideways. I'm guessing we're going to push up before the end of the day and hit this target here, which is this second leg of these measured move. So I'm thinking bullish at the moment, which is stopping me from taking trades like that. So you got to notice that, and just, I know Max says he's got it in red letters. Don't counter trend trade, although that is, they say only fade in the direction of the trend. Well, the trend to me is up, so you only want to be fading there, which is why that came in. There wasn't really nothing worth bringing in, but I'm expecting it to go up. I'm expecting at some point to carry on up. But yeah, you've got to be careful of those. It's easy to draw these channels and see, oh yeah. Now, if it came down, went back up again and hit it, then I'd say, well, it's touched it 3 times, so the 4th time I'm going to take it. And obviously, if it had come out of this range again, it had pushed in, come out of this range again, then I'd have taken that then, see? But at the moment, all we've had is a push out the range. If this came down to here, came back up again, and bounced off here and there, then I would go short. But just goes to show how easy you can get caught in these traps, and what happens goes higher. So you've got to look at the bigger picture. And I kind of like talking about this because it echoes in my head as well, so it secures all that information again in my head. I prefer to think out aloud rather than, I prefer to talk about it than sort of quietly let it go on in my head. It tends to stick in my head a bit easier, a bit quicker. You took the failure on the stream, yeah. Yeah. See, the less experienced traders are short there, although you've probably got a couple of points. But the more experienced traders are thinking, okay, we've had a break out of this range. Some traders are going to take that, but the rest are going to take that failure. As soon as that triggers above here and takes that stops out, it gives it that fuel then to get to the top. And if you would have taken that, you'd have probably got 6 points out of that. Even if you took it to there, you'd have got 5 3/4, somewhere around there. So I don't know what happened with the news. Nothing really changed, did it? I usually do sort of have a news channel on if there's going to be some big news in the day, just to see what the sentiment is. Just because I think I should know about it. So that... Yeah, I know what you're saying, the downtrend steeper. You're looking at that, aren't you? And we've had a break in a new low, yeah. I was just drawing this for just for people who might think about drawing bigger channels. Now that looks like it fits beautifully, doesn't it? But I was just making a point of, this is something that happened with Brant the other day. There was one leg down and a correction and another leg down, and it came back in. It more or less came very similar to that, and it ticked and pushed out because it hadn't confirmed. And although that did push down a bit, it reversed, didn't it? But I was just, I just took that short. I wouldn't have normally taken that for obvious reasons, but a lot of maybe newer guys would see that and think, oh, look, yeah, there we go. Beautiful trend that. Is it again? Taken that. And then it's reversed. So obviously the more experienced traders would have taken that, and eventually then that one was the failure. And as soon as it ticked above that, as soon as it that middle line, straight to the top. But yeah, I know what you're saying. There's a clear trend there at a break. Clear trend down there at a break. A lot of the times I don't necessarily draw them because I could see that that was a breakout at the bottom, but it just wasn't bullish enough for me. And I'm trying not to pick tops and bottoms really, because I'm just trying to stick to those higher probability trades. Yeah, the market closes for 15 minutes a day. It used to close for an hour, but it's 15 minutes a day. So if you trade after the market's open, that figure that you've got down here will show on tomorrow's day. So if the market closes and I open the second it opens, so I take a trade second it opens, that will show on tomorrow's. Yeah. Yeah, in terms of trading days, it'll count as tomorrow's. So if you'd done 6 days, waited for the market to close, opened it 15 minutes later and took another one and thought, well, it's still today. No, it doesn't work that way. So it'll be counted as tomorrow's day, another day. I got to say, I really rate Apex highly, actually. I've been with them now for a year, and I can't fault them at the moment. Obviously, little issues with the trade copy and that. But generally, as a PA firm, as a prop firm, they're really good. I don't think. What I will say is, I haven't obviously this affiliate link, and at 50%, I've had one in the last week. When it's 80%, I think I have 6, 8, or 10 a day. So I don't know why Apex don't just say 80% off everything permanently, because I think they'd make a lot more money. Which is why I think they have these 80% offs quite a lot, because I've got to say, my affiliate goes through the roof. When it's like that, I might get 1 or 2 a week. If that changed to 80, I'd be getting 1 or 2 an hour. So I'll be surprised if we don't get another 8% off pretty soon. They seem to be at no more than monthly at the moment, but I'm surprised. I don't know why they're just, because they can be like that. Apex can be quite forward thinking and quite rebel in their behaviour. So that is something that I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, said, right, 8% off everything. And I think the Apex, the evaluations, I think, would go through the roof. That will be my 7th trading day, yeah. Right, is this your 6th then, is it? Yeah, you're going to have to wait. So if you trade, yeah, when the market closed today, that's the end of today. So if you're thinking you're going to trade after the market opens and that's your 7th day, ain't going to work like that, bud. In which case, you're going to have to sit through all tomorrow. So after the market closes and reopens, that goes on tomorrow. So that would be a 7th day. If that's the case, I don't know whether you've finished, whether you were asking just out of interest. think I started trading and researching futures in June last year. Yeah, it was a year before that I started, beginning of June. I got to say, I came from currency. I spent 6 months doing currency, and after having multiple screens, multiple time frames, multiple currency pairs, this is refreshing. Just having one chart, one product, one time frame. It's so much easier. Yeah, Valentine's Day is 2 weeks, isn't it? So, in fact, I had an email about a week ago saying we've got an offer on for Valentine's Day, 50% off. And I'm thinking, why have you even sent me that? Because they have 50% off all year round anyway, that you'd always get 50% off. So I hope that doesn't mean they're not going to have an 80% off for Valentine's Day. I think they would. I don't know. There is another US holiday, isn't there, part of the way through this month? Is it the end of the month, end of February? I'm not sure. President's Day, okay. Yeah. Good Friday's a couple of months ago. I think we'll probably have half a dozen 80% off by then. I'm hoping we do. But yeah, I can't remember last year, did they? I don't think they started having the 80% offs until I think the first one they had was, I think it was Halloween, I think. I think that was the first big sale they had on, because they had 90% recently. So they obviously clearly make a lot of money when they have these big sales on. So I would expect there to be one soon. If there wasn't one for Valentine's Day in the next couple of weeks, I'll be surprised. Yeah, so you could, I'm just going to put this in for the fun of it. You could call that a failure. And if it breaks above there, there's probably going to be some shorts there. And I'm guessing there's going to be some shorts up here. I'm just doing this for the fun of it. It's only because I'm on a demo. I'm expecting it to go high and have another leg, but you could call that a failure, although it's a bit, but it does seem like it's going up, and I'm expecting it to go up. I wouldn't take this normally if it wasn't for a demo, but just out of curiosity, sometimes it's nice to have a demo just to try a few things. But that is a second entry long, although it's probably a bit higher than the EMA I'd like, but it is also a second entry short. So that's probably why that pushed up a bit. I'm expecting another leg up here. I see what I mean about eating through some of the stops. There's probably going to be some shorts there. There's likely to be some there fading this. And after that's failed and came back in, not that far, only to the EMA, then I'd expect that then to push out like that. I'm only doing this because because I'm on a demo. But I'd expect that to push up now. Also want to try putting my stop in a minute and see if it does that same thing again. They're working the same. Positions are looking okay. I can't see that fading again after we've faded that, come back in, and it hasn't broke through the EMA. 4059. To be honest with you, I'm only doing this because I'm on a demo at the moment. But I just thought that's, we've pushed up, we've come back in, made a new low, trying to go on, trying to go. It's technically a failure, but I'm expecting some shorts in there because there have been some people fading this, and I think they'd have probably taken that as a lower high. So there's going to be some shorts trapped there, and the fact that it pushed above here and had a quick spike above there. And I only did it because we're on a demo. I wouldn't have done that normally. Affiliate link, I think I get 15%. So if someone pays $33 for a $50,000 account, I get about $5, something like that. So if you stream or something like that, or even if you've got a couple of mates, if two of you, you've got a couple of buddies and you both anyone can sign up for an affiliate account, just go on to the Apex. And even if you use get an affiliate link and just use each other's, your mate will save 15% and you'll save 15%. It's not a huge amount, but it mounts up. I paid $300 for a new graphics card so I could run this stream because my current one wouldn't work with multiple screens up, and my affiliates is more than paid for that, so it's great. So yeah, I'd absolutely say that if you've got some trader mates and you both do Apex, you use each other's affiliate links, and you'll save yourself a bit of money. Just going to try chucking my order in a minute, see if my stop in, see if it pushes me out. Everything's working fine there. Yeah, see, everything worked okay there. I can't see everything's working as it should. Yeah, I don't know why we had that issue, I've got to say. But I am going to I have taken a shot of that. Yeah, that was my entry. As it pushed up, I brought my stop up and put it there, and for some reason, it took me out there, and the market didn't even come down to there, and I ended up being $50 down, so I don't know why I did that. It may be, a couple of people suggested it may be because it's a sim, because I'm just using it on a sim at the moment, just to get used to it a bit. But I am going to post it and see if anybody else wants to make a comment, and then hopefully if we can get a few comments, saying the right thing, then maybe we can solve the problem. Yeah, per sign up, it's 15%. So if someone takes an evaluation for $33, I get about $5, I think, something like that. But it mounts up to pay for my graphics card. So, but obviously you need quite a few people taking your evaluations. But I'd certainly say that if if there's a few of you and you want to sign up and use each other's, I'd definitely say it's worth it. I'd say it's likely we're going to slowly head up to here before the end of the day, or close to it. It certainly seems that. That's yesterday's highs, that was. Yeah. Certainly looks like we're working our way up, doesn't it? It's not the clearest of... Yeah, it just doesn't look very good at the top, does it? SW Blaze, you also put an expiration of February the 28th on the 50% off. Yeah. To be fair, I can't remember the last time they didn't have the 50% off. There's always 50% off. The trouble is, when people are used to paying having 80% off, and they're paying $33, they're not going to pay $160, $170. And the trouble is, the more they put these offers on, the less people will pay the full price, or even 50% off. I'd certainly, I know by how many of those. I had one yesterday, I think. So if anybody took that evaluation on there yesterday, I appreciate it. But that's the first one I've had since the offer came off 3 or 4 days ago. And I think I had about eight or nine on the last day. So obviously that represents how many evaluations Apex is selling. And they'll obviously know how many they're selling at 50% off and how many they're selling at 80% off. They're going to sell, I would say, 10 times the amount. And the thing is, if people are taking evaluations and if you're only risking $33, you're a lot more likely to take risks than you are if you were paying $133. And obviously Apex know this, but it's certainly better to risk $33 than there is, than $167 at the full price. So I'll be surprised if we don't have one soon. And I usually get an email the night before. So I'll obviously know on the day of trading, but I don't think it'll be too long. It's moving up, isn't it, towards this second leg? I expected it. A push-up, a correction, push-up, correction. I expect another push-up somewhere up here. I think by the end of the day, we're likely to get up here somewhere. And that's the good thing about learning to read the charts, isn't it? When you take entries, maybe if you took that failure there, you might think, oh, well, I'll at least ride it to the top. But if you're a more experienced chart reader and you're thinking this is the second leg up and it's likely to go here, perhaps you may hold on a bit longer. And if you did, or even if you just maybe had one contract on a runner, if you did take that failure, at the moment you're pushing 9 points up with the possibility of it going, another 10 points higher. So if the more you read these charts, the more you understand, the more confident you are in them, the more chance you got of, because that's at the lowest point, isn't it? From right the way from back here. So at the lowest point in the correction, and then obviously the lowest point then we've pushed out of it, which I sort of thought we may do. EMA starts to point up then. So it's obviously, this is what traders going to be thinking. Well, the EMA is going up. Look at this. We've come back. We haven't even come back halfway. And it's already looking bullish. What's likely to happen? Well, going up's likely to happen. So I like how you just leave your target projections. It makes you don't forget. Yeah, it is about learning to read these charts, isn't it? But it does give you confidence because my plan as I get better at this is to leave trades in a bit longer. I have the confidence. Now, when I was just discussing about this and I put that trade in, watching that trade go up in a demo was so lovely, I got to say. I can't remember the last time I was that relaxed watching a trade just go up, thinking I could just let it run, it doesn't matter. But obviously, the better chart reader you become and the more you sort of, hit these areas where you think, okay, well, the market's saying this and that's a second leg. I'm thinking it's coming up here. Now, whether it gets up there, I certainly think it's going to get close. But that's, that sort of comes with the longer you spend riding these charts. But it's obviously clearly going up. But I also like to identify areas of congestion as well where it stumbles. I had a couple yesterday. I drew some sort of long rectangular, and it's surprising how accurate they are, and based on other people are thinking the same thing. So, if you're expecting to come down here, then you're thinking like the majority. And if you're thinking like the majority of the traders, you're thinking along the right lines. Your mind's starting to think, I like you commented on your comments in the Facebook group. I just leave my target so it's easier. Why do you choose 2000 tick chart? Not a clue, mate. This is a max price action trading system. This is an he trades the 2000 tick chart, and I believe it's close to the 5-minute chart, but apparently Mac believes, or his system believes, that it shows you more detail. So whether that's right or not, I can't comment. But that's why we choose the 2000 tick chart. So yeah, it does look like this is another leg, doesn't it? Probably something on the lines of that. I don't know. It looks like the break. It may sort of have a break, go a bit higher, and then come a little bit wider, and that range. Sorry, that trend channel may end up something in the lines of that, or maybe it may be even a bit lower. I think that's probably a bit too steep to hit there. It might do. I mean, that might be one leg up. Let's have a look and see if it works. That might be one leg up. This might be another. Okay, that works. Oh, look at that. So that looks like we've had a break. One leg up. This might likely. So if it can get a good setup here, if it two pushes down and you take a trade here, I suppose the better you get at this, thinking, okay, one leg up, two legs. Where does the two leg up take us? Exactly to the same point as this measured leg. This first push up, the correction, and a second push up. So if you're confident on taking a trade and having the confidence to leave it there, because if you can leave that there, you've got what, 5, 10, possibly 13, 12, 13, 14 points, somewhere around there. Obviously, if the setup works, and it kind of like the way it's retesting the top of this trend channel it's been in, which is always a good thing. It comes down and bounces here, nice and bullish, then that's a good indicator that then we're making some more moves up. But I'd want two legs down first. There's a new low, so first leg down. It's a possible failure. I prefer second entry really there. Legs are ever growing. Yeah. Yeah, I tend to leave them in. I sort of left this one in to show the two legs down here, which has worked. That one and that one, which, yeah, I mean, you can get rid of some of these, can't you? But I just like to see how they work, and, you know, that one worked. This one looks like it's going to work. The larger overall one, we've had this push up. And we've come back here and we seem to be doing the same thing. It's certainly looking lightly, isn't it? So we're obviously bullish at the moment, aren't we? I just hope my Bitcoin is. So I'd say there's a good to average chance we're going to get up here. See, that's not even a break yet, which is a good thing. It's probably a little bit wider, actually, to incorporate that swing there. I was kind of hoping we'd come out here a bit and you're still on the runner. From where? From down here? Are you really? Good on you, lad. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Yeah, you've been doing it long enough now to identify what's going on here, haven't you? So you might end up getting something really good. So you took that there, didn't you? So you're up to, I'd have said more than that. It looks a lot more, really, doesn't it? You're certainly up to the best part of 9 points. Yeah, so I'd be tempted, I would. Yeah, where have you got your stop at the moment? Maybe here, or here. I'd probably have mine here, and then if it pushes up higher, bring it up to there again. But you may get full whack out of that. Or certainly close to. What could that go to? Even okay, so there's you could get that, or it might go a bit. You certainly could get the best part of, I don't know, 17 to 20, 22 points, somewhere around there. I'm kind of hoping this breaks a little bit, just and two legs down and to sit on top of this bullish, I think, and then I'll go long there. So that's what okay. And I like the way it's retesting this as well. Kind of hoping that channel was a bit wider. Just to incorporate that nice. That fits nice. That fits okay. That fits a touch more. Okay. See if we can come down here a bit. Put mine break-even stop loss below the last swing low. So it's probably below here then, isn't it? That's the last swing low, isn't it? Or here. It's probably there, isn't it? Somewhere around there. Yeah. It may take you out here, but it does certainly looking bullish, isn't it? I'm kind of hoping that comes down a bit and sits on top of that. But it is on the key entry point. I'll take 4. You got more than 4 points, haven't you? Where are you? About here, isn't it? So where are you? Okay, so right, so yours is somewhere around here, isn't it? Somewhere. Yeah. If you sit it there at 4 points, that gives that plenty enough to come down and then push up bullish and go higher. I'd say you're in the right place here. I'd say that's the perfect place to follow that right the way up. Frustrating seeing that, because if that finishes bullish, I think it's likely to go up, but it's not really an entry for us. It's frustrating as we pretty much, as best as we can, know it's likely to move up. So hopefully if we can break below here, maybe even to the top of it, I'd prefer that body to sit right on top of there, which should retest this top of this range then, which would, in my opinion, give it a nice place to bounce off. So not only have you got an uptrend, you've got a second entry long, and it's retested the top of this range. But I think a lot of traders are probably just going to jump on that, thinking we're going higher, which then it's not going to give us the chance to come down, and that looks like what's happening. So tempting, because there's probably there's going to be traders thinking we've broken out of this range, hit a new high, and we've taken that. So there's going to be a lot in there. So in fact, just for the fun of it, what I'm going to do is put a buy order. Now, I wouldn't normally do this. It's only because I'm going to do this. I'd say put it there, but I'm going to put it above there, because the shorts or stops are possibly going to be there, possibly here. And if that pushes up above there, it's going to take out any of the shorts that have taken that lower high, thinking we're coming back into the range. Because to me, the overall pattern is up at the moment. I might be wrong, but just for the fun of it. It might come careering down and that, but unless this turns into a second entry long bullish, breaks below there. Yeah, I'd say that's it's not really a trade we can take that really, although it's looking quite bullish. We prefer it to break below there really, but I'd say it's probably going to do this trick to get us up higher. In fact, there is a possible failure there. See how that bar ends. It's not something I want to go. For me, it's bullish. That would be to take it short. So be interesting to see if it does finish there and then trigger and then come up. Yeah, I'd say that's it's not sitting. But I prefer that to tick below there. If that ticks below there, I'd take that. But I'd say that's bullish enough, I think, to encourage buyers to get in there. And certainly, if it breaks above here or indeed there, then I think that'll give it the momentum to push up further. Yeah, I think if it's 4066, then I'll push it up higher there because it'll eat the stops of this. I can't see where the. I think what there are going to be some traders thinking it's broken out of this range and they're fading the range. So it's broken out, made a new high, pulled back in a high and a lower high. And I'd say there's going to be some shorts trapped there. They won't even got a point there, see. So if we can break above this, whether they'll put their stops one tick above here or indeed one tick, I'd probably stretch mine to there. I'd say once it touches this buy order, then I'd say it's going to give it a bit more momentum up for the next leg, because I'd say that's one leg. There's the second leg. Let's just check I got this right. Yeah, if it goes further, that's the only reason. I mean, I wouldn't have normally done this. It's only because I got on the demo, but I'm just thinking how I'm reading the markets. But this, I'd say I'm sure there's going to be some shorts in there, and their stops are going to either be one tick above this or one tick above here. And if that's the case and it pushes up, then I'd say I favour us then for a second leg up. Might not. I might go sideways for a bit, but you know, things are definitely looking bullish for me. There's until something tells me anything else. We've had a push up. Sometimes we'll do that. We'll push up, bit of sideways, push up, a little bit of sideways, and we've done that all day. Pushed up, sideways, pushed up, sideways, pushed up, sideways. It sort of corrects. So we've had a couple of pushes up. So it might correct a little bit sideways, but then I think it'll push up there higher. It's certainly given that indication that we're going higher, and I think it won't until it breaks above here. It may go a bit sideways, but I think if it does break above there, that'll give it the fuel it needs to push higher. But I think that was bullish enough to give to encourage some buying to push it up, and then when it breaks above here, I think that'll. Okay, it's ticked above this one, but I think most shorts are going to be above here, I'd say, from that. That's where I'd put mine. $500 daily loss limit to prevent going on tilt. Yeah, I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you. It may go a bit sideways though, at the moment, but until it ticks above there, then if it does tick above there, then I'd favour it then to start to go higher then. But it's done that all day. We've gone up a little bit of sideways, we've gone up. We've done it at every step, haven't we? And it might need a little bit more correcting before it pushes up. And remember I mentioned earlier, this is quite a steepest channel to keep going straight up to there. So I think it might do, but it wouldn't surprise me if it went a little bit more sideways and then ended up sort of going up at that sort of angle. Maybe a bit steeper. You know, it might go a bit sideways here and put. It's hard to say, but it might go a bit further sideways. Then eventually it might widen this channel. But until we break above here, I think when we do, I think that's when we'll start to continue to rise some more. That's why I've just put this order. I'm only on a demo, so it's just for the fun of it. And then I'll put my safety stop down here. And I'll guarantee I'm going to win something here. It's slowing down though now, isn't it? What time is it? Okay, we've been going nearly 4 hours, so we might just see what happens here. See if this one gets on a bit of run. I'm more interested to see how Osam gets on with that runner. He's in a runner from here, so I think the way things are looking, you're going to do all right out of this. Sideways, but with a bullish intention, I think. Once we break above here, I think that's when you'll see a bit more movement. It may come back and forth here a touch before it does. Yeah, if you've only got $53,000, you're not going to have a lot left. But sometimes I have this. If I'm finding it hard, sometimes I would take the money. I'm not saying that's the best thing for you to do, but if you take the money, you've got some money then to reinvest. Depends what your finances are like, but if you're struggling a bit or whatever, and you could do with the money to reinvest, then it's up to you what you want to do. But on those circumstances, I might think, well, just take the money. At least you've got $2,000 then, and you can get back in the game. But it depends. If it's taken you forever to get up and you've struggled a bit or come down, that's a decision for you. But see, I was hoping it was going to retest this line because I think there'd be another reason then to bounce off it. I kind of hope that breaks below here and ends up bullish. If that's the case, then I would expect it to push higher and out of here. It's sometimes it needs to come back a little bit to encourage more. Once it comes back here, now we're thinking bullish anyway. Once it comes back here, then they're thinking, okay, now do you really want to go bullish here? I don't know about that. Do you really want to go bullish here? Yeah. Much better to get on earlier in the game. So we've had sort of these look like a couple of legs down. Much better to get in as low as you can on here, and then, more comes in here, then that'll give it the fuel then to push higher. So that's the way I see things. And it's human behavior, isn't it? If people are thinking long, where do I want to get in long? I want to get in as low as I can. I don't want to get in here, do I? Just in case I'm wrong. Because you've always got to have that just in case. So I'd want to get in as low as I can, but obviously you want to get in on a setup or something that looks like a setup, and that doesn't look too bad actually. Although I'd have preferred it to break below here, but just the way it's sitting on the EMA starting to push up a little bit. I'd have preferred it to break below here and then end up right at the bottom there bullish, though that would interest me then. You're done just sitting back and eating my popcorn. So you've turned your trading screen into a cinema now, have you? Well, if you're in a trade now, see, I think as long as you've got your stop loss somewhere around about here, giving that a little bit of breathing space, I think you're going to do all right out of that. In fact, if that does trigger, I'm tempted just to drag the profit up to here, because it's only on a demo, and just shut the screen down for the night, come back in the morning and see where I got to, just out of interest. But I think we've had this strong push in. Every time we've done that throughout the day, every time we've done that, we've pushed, we've gone sideways, 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 we've pushed again. The pattern is, the way the trade's speaking to us, the information it's given us, it's telling us it's moving higher again. See if this one pushes it higher. I kind of like that bar, although I prefer it to be a bit lower, but all we need to do is get above here, and I think that'll add fuel to the fire then. Sometimes these bars can drag you in, tick above, and then come back and stop you out. But if it does tick higher than that, it'll hit the stops from that. So, see what I mean? I don't think we're over with yet. I think the more it corrects, though, I think the more shot it's got there, because it's going to widen that channel a bit then. Oh, it's gone slow in it now. So it's 1:15 Eastern Standard Time, isn't it? So surely traders going to be back for lunch now, aren't we? Aren't they? What do they go for lunch? 12, 1:15? Something like that. Kind of hoping it breaks below here a bit and then sits there. Because it has retested the top of this channel. But I prefer it to drop in a little bit and then push up and sit there. Oh, could I sworn they do? 12 till 2 issues. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? And you're going to have to wait till not only it's approved, but it's removed from your account. The only thing I will say, once it's removed from your account, if you then blow that account, let's say you blow the account and it goes down to 0, they could say, well, there's a possibility, I don't know whether they will, but there's a possibility if you've blown that account before they've paid you out, they might put a stop on that. So I would just be careful there. I was extra careful. I had that in mind. I wanted that money in my bank before I risked anything more. So when my account went close to that level of 2,600, I made sure I was comfortably above it. So what you don't want to do is if you blow your account, although they've approved you, they may say, well, your account's blown now. You know, we'll have to put, because it's under the 2,600 threshold, we'll put the $2,000 back in your account. You know what I mean? There's a possibility they can do that. I don't know how they work. But I don't think they're going to, if you do blow it, I wouldn't necessarily assume because they've approved it, they're still going to pay it. So I'll just be aware of that. God, it's going slow, isn't it? Okay, I think I'm getting bored now. Their table. If I was earning that sort of money, I would be. I don't know what they do, to be fair. I don't know whether they go to lunch or what. I know I've heard people mention they do go to lunch, which is why you can have a little bit of a lull. But I don't know. I'm going to shut this down anyway. So I was just out of interest to see if it popped above there. Give me a minute. I'm just getting hungry. I want to go and have my tea. I've got hot beef bourguignon. bubbling away on the stove downstairs. Yeah, I'm going to knock it on there, guys, actually. Okay, so we had something there, didn't we? It wasn't a bad day, was it? Obviously on the demo, but I found today quite useful, quite a useful learning tool. Sometimes it's kind of nice to trade on a demo because it just takes that pressure off and you can have a think a little bit more and you're not so much, you know. So I always save my chart. I do. What's the date today? 31st of the 1st, 23. There we go. 1st of February tomorrow. I'm not sure what news is there tomorrow, but that's it, guys. So I hope your runner goes okay, bud. I've got a feeling it's going to. It is looking like it'll often do that when it's sideways, and then it'll just, once it corrects a bit, it'll just kick off. So I'd say you're going to get up here. So if you're stopped sort of here or below, I think you're all good, actually. As soon as it breaks above there, I think it may push up a bit, come back a bit, and then I think you're going to get that other leg up there. So let me know how that goes tomorrow. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys for all your comments and hooking up with me and trading with me and having a chat and, you know, learning together, experiencing everything together, because we're all at different levels. There's people more experienced than me, people less experienced than me, but this is just my journey. And so tomorrow, same time on a PA account. So have a great evening, and I will